Welcome, sports fans. Welcome, rugby fans. Welcome to Gibsonville, North Carolina, where we are here for day 2 of the action of the Rugby Showcase South. It is Sunday morning, which means we have 4 games ahead of us. We're going to start with Morris from New Jersey on the left side of the screen wearing black, and on the right side of the screen, the Raleigh Redhawks in the white or gray. First match is up. We're going to get this rolling, but with me today in the booth to start is Shane Flynn and Brian Melody. Shane, welcome. Good morning. And I'll hand the mic over to you, Brian.
Yeah, welcome, everybody. It's a little bit chillier today, so that should be good for the players, I think, especially the folks from the north that were dealing with the heat yesterday. There's a lot of sunburn that I saw around for a lot of the girls. First time really getting outside, and they didn't really apply the sunscreen appropriately, I think.
They were taken by surprise. They hadn't seen the sun in 6 months, it seems. But it should be a good matchup. Morris had 2 matches yesterday. They had a big win against Chapel Hill to start off the day, and then they ran into a really tough Raleigh Cobra side in the second match that we actually did the broadcast for. So it'll be interesting to see how they come out on the second day. It's always tough. There's a couple roster adjustments that were made that we'll try to keep you up to date with. And then the Redhawks finished the day last night with a victory in the final match over the Maryland combined side. And we're off. And ball squirts around, not fielded cleanly. And it looks like it's brought under control by the Redhawks. And it looks like the Redhawks player was holding on to the ball at the bottom of the breakdown, and that's going to be a penalty to Morris, Olive Rhodes, to kick for touch.
Yeah, it'll be interesting today. You know, there's a lot of bumps and bruises, again, for the northern teams. A lot of their first competitions, so there's a lot of sore bodies out there. It's going to maybe take a little bit of time to get the momentum, but these are short games, right? So you can't wait too long to sort of get into gear and get things moving. So
Line out taken cleanly by Morris, pushed off the front, a movement that they made several times yesterday. And Morris has their. We're going to have a penalty. It looks like it was offsides against the Redhawks. And Morris is going to kick for touch again. It looks like they're about 5 meters out.
Yeah, so yesterday, again, Morris primarily, worked the field through their forwards. So this is that traditional opportunity for the Morris Maul off the line out. So see if they go with their bread and butter or try to do something else.
Yeah, it goes right to the front, Sienna Miller. Sienna Miller push forward.
So not a maul, but still effective.
And ball squirts out. Played off the deck by Rhodes. Getting juggled a little bit in the middle.
A little sloppy to start.
And we have a penalty against Morris for holding on. There's a player down on the field. Tackle was a little bit high, it looked like. Hard charge from Raleigh.
Yeah, did a good job of holding on to that ball. A little hands in.
And we'll go penalty to Raleigh.
Yeah, that's a good kick. Again, with a right-footed kicker close to the sidelines, that's one's always a little bit tough to try to get the distance on and keep it from going in play. So it was a good kick. Got some territory now. So looks like Raleigh has a line out ready, 5-person line out. Nice off the top. They really had some actually good movement there for a little bit. It was that fourth pass.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that there. So that's the issue that you have is you're trying to get it wide. Can you make those effective passes all the way out to the outside to get it to your sort of faster wings and fullbacks trying to slice through. So in that case, it looked pretty good, but then unfortunately had a little bit of a knock on at the end. So it's going to be a scrum down to Morris.
It looks like the ball may be a little slick first thing in the morning here, a little morning dew.
Yeah, it looked. I don't know if it rained. We were half an hour away, so it looked like it rained at the hotel we were at last night. So yeah, the ball on the ground may be a little bit wet.
Going to the short side by Morris. DJ Gordon takes hard contact, but is able to maintain possession. Kennedy Curry on the carry, scores forward. And it looks like we're going to come back and play a penalty for a high tackle against Raleigh. Holly Rhodes, who we talked about a lot yesterday, is going to handle the kicking duties and kick for touch.
Yeah, Olive, again, a super strong player overall, really hard runner, and really coming into her own with her vision and leadership. The kicking skills, both during play as well as off the tee for points and stuff like that, is just she's really excelled over the past year in growth, and it's exciting to see. She's such a nice player.
We got a knock on in the line out by Raleigh. We're going to have a scrum down to Morris. They're about 5 to 10 meters out from their try line.
Yeah, at this point, it's just they can't quite get more than one or two phases going, or a couple passes before something unfortunate happens. So we'll see if one of the two teams can break out of that mold and stop having some unforced errors and execute a little bit better.
Quarter off the back to Rhodes, to Weinstein. Strong run up the middle. Maintain possession. DJ takes into contact.
Yeah, unfortunately, another unforced error. Gives the ball back to Raleigh.
And Morris had a similar start yesterday in their first match against Chapel Hill, where they spent a lot of time down at the attacking zone and just weren't able to put it together. But after about 5 minutes, things started clicking, and they were.
Yeah, again, some of that
okay.
may be the nerves, the people being sore, different positions. I know a couple subs had to come in for some injuries on both sides. So,
you see the number 9 lead, DeMarco, was playing out on the wing yesterday, and she's been forced into action at the scrum half position.
It's a nice play by Olive.
Rhodes takes a nice over-the-shoulder catch. They're at the Sofield on the outside. Morris retains possession. Raleigh working hard on defense, and it looks like we have a knock-on.
Yeah, just again,
Another knock-on by
unforced error.
Morris, maybe the third or fourth that they've had in this little.
Yeah,
the
credit,
early parts
yeah.
of this first match.
Credit to Raleigh for not. They're bending, but they're not breaking at this point. So they're holding up their defensive side and causing those turnovers to give them a chance. So, again, now deep in their territory, you'd be anticipating a kick to try to get some pressure off of them here, but they got to win the scrum first.
Again, for you at home, we're playing 20-minute halves today, a shortened game, which allows the teams to get 3 matches this weekend, which is Raleigh kicks a touch. How does this format work, Shane, as a coach? Shane is one of the coaches over at Doylestown. You get an opportunity to play a couple different teams, and it's not a grueling 35-minute halves, normal games, But how does that change your preparation as a coach going into a day 2 of an event like this?
Yeah, I think again, it's how do you count your healthy bodies, and then understand. 2, how are you trying to get every player some minutes as well, right? So if you have a team that's a little bit light in numbers, then it's a rough go because you don't get any breaks, right? You're basically, no matter how bumped and bruised you are, you got to get out there because maybe you didn't have the bench to play, on that second day. For us, we have some players, so a little bit of a challenge in terms of just making sure everybody gets the minutes. And that means different combinations and things, which is great for growth.
Quickly on the outside by Riley, their first chance of the day. And taken into touch.
Yeah, that was a nice run there. But yeah, just finishing up on that. Again,
Morgan Andrews, a freshman, with a big run there.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. And you love to see the freshmen coming out here and doing good things. That just shows that, the growth of the game is there. And, it's not like they're not, on the field and just they're actually executing a lot. You see these freshmen that are sophomores that are
that
just
balance
leading.
that if you have an opportunity as a freshman or a sophomore to play with some experienced players, it really helps you a lot in your development and helps bring you up to speed, because rugby is a unique sport where you can tell players things and they're never going to fully understand what's going on until they actually play it. And it's sometimes a barrier with parents that, you're just going to throw them out there, and that's really the best way for them to learn is by doing it. Put in by Raleigh. Nice offload pass to the outside. Scrambling run by Foley.
So, yeah, you can sort of see what they're trying to do. They tried to do a little out the back play. They didn't execute, but they, again, little things like the chicken wing pass there. Like these are all the things that, you didn't really see a couple years ago,
yeah.
And that just shows that the coaching is great and continue to get better. And we were talking about before the freshmen and the sophomore and even the middle schoolers, right? They're playing a couple years, so it's not like you're getting a player that's just 1 or 2 years in, and by the time they're figuring it out, then they're off to college or doing something else. Now these girls are growing up playing rugby and have a couple years, and now you're seeing the kicking like this and the vision
Fantastic
changing.
clearing kick from Rhodes, goes into touch close to midfield. Raleigh goes quick off the line out, and the referee Trevor's going to bring it back and may have touched a spectator over on the far side, which will stop the ability for a quick line out. But yeah, as you were saying, Shane, the ability for players to play at a younger age, to play in more competitions like this one last week at Rugger Fest. The Gonzaga tournament's coming up soon, where the better teams that aren't geographically close to each other are making the commitment and playing these matches, and that's really going to help the players develop at a higher level, which is what we need as a national level for the team.
Yeah, exactly.
Lions team with the strong run up the middle.
Yeah, and everybody likes to play different teams, right? It's just fun to get that experience of playing somebody different. So whether going to a tournament or going to like showcases like this where you get to play teams that you don't typically see or maybe see once a year, the girls are always up for that challenge, and it's exciting when they don't have to necessarily play the ones that are closely geographically aligned and the ones that they sort of always seem to play and know.
Sure. We're going to get a penalty against Raleigh for holding on. Rose to kick for touch. Especially to come down in this area, the Carolinas is is one of the pockets in the country that's a hotbed for rugby, and there's 4 or 5 teams down here, and it's nice to come down from the northeast and see it. Great clearing kick from Raleigh, the number 15 Foley.
Yeah, now we've seen sort of pressure on both sides. So Raleigh went down and had an opportunity right at the goal line, but Morris did a good job of causing a turnover and then a great clearing kick, and now they switched the sides of the field and territory.
A little sloppy coming off the Morris put in. Raleigh holds on to possession. Starting to move the ball. They got some numbers outside if they can get the ball there. Excellent run to the outside. Barely rucked by a Morris player. Didn't catch a number. DJ. Strong run straight up the middle.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there because Morris's line was set up and
great job by Morris to draw a penalty for holding on at the breakdown.
Yeah, unfortunately,
they
you had
out there.
Those runs, but you run away from your support.
Yeah,
and then unfortunately they get the turnover there. So.
Yeah, we noted yesterday Morris does a great job around the breakdown. They really challenge you, whether they're taking space or if they're poaching the ball and trying to create a turnover or a penalty. They're very active at the breakdown, and it's something that, when you have those isolated runners, it's going to cause trouble for you, as it did right there for Raleigh. Line-up ball taken cleanly by Amelia Wolf. DJ with a strong run. Scarlett up the middle. Not held in the tackle. Rolls forward. Gets back to her feet. Pushes forward. Very strong run. Pass out to Rhodes. Rhodes moves through. 4 runners. 5 runners on the doorstep. Morris retains possession. Offloaded to Weinstein. Weinstein's over. Very close to the try line.
Held up.
Yeah, it looks like it was held up.
Yeah, again, so the Raleigh defense there held strong. So Morris sort of tried to just bash it in, and they did a good job of holding it up in the try zone.
Goal line dropout. Got it clearly by Jamie, who's a guest player from Downingtown this morning for Morris. Weinstein takes it in, tackle. It may have been high. And it looks like the referee may be going to his pocket. The referee having a chat with both captains. We'll see if it's just a warning or if it's going to result in a card. Looks like it's just going to be a warning, and we're going to play on a penalty for a high tackle.
Yeah, so now it should be a penalty to Morris, so it's going to be obviously a great opportunity to get their first try on the board here. So let's see what they're looking to do. Are they going to try to kick or set up a play? It looks like a play.
Yeah, it looks like a play. Yeah, sometimes when you're in that situation and you haven't scored a try, you want to maybe just get 3 points and get a chance to reset, but Morris is going to take a shot at running a penalty in. And they turn the ball over with the holding on penalty.
Yeah, and that's something Morris typically does pretty well, is support the rocks, and they just a little slow there. So again, good credit to the Raleigh team for putting the pressure on defense and being there to poach that ball and cause a turnover.
Good clearing kick by Raleigh. hung up in the wind a little bit, which is there's a decent amount of wind today. I'm not sure if it's windier than it was yesterday.
No, chillier, but yeah, I think the wind, especially in the second half of the day yesterday, was whipping around pretty good. So
Strong tailwinds was taking balls deep into the parking lot at sometimes.
yeah, I heard somebody's car might have got a little dinged.
Call State Farm. Jake from State Farm, you got one coming this afternoon. One of the first scrum downs today. Was that the first scrum down today?
Yeah, I don't recall any.
Oh, we'll get another one.
Yeah, I mean there was a bunch of knock-ons, so I think there was some scrums, but. So yeah, I think the theme so far has been just the unfortunate, unforced errors and the knock-ons are causing havoc for both sides really, and not really being able to get any momentum on the offensive side.
Yeah.
So it's sort of a little bit of momentum, and then there's a turnover. So I think one of the teams is going to have to break that pattern here and get something on the board.
DJ with the 8-man pickup. Goes outside and pushed into touch.
Yeah, that's always difficult for the wings. They want to stay on the outside, but the other people are taking away their space. So having that instinct to be able to either cut back in or really just plant that outside foot and try to charge in with the shoulder and try to keep it in. It's always a tough thing to do, especially with newer players.
Morse takes the line out. It's moved outside. Weinstein's going to run it back inside. Looks like she might have a gap taken to deck. Morse retains possession. Move through Miller. Passes out to the outside wing. Another run by Sadie. A lot of side-to-side action from Morris here. Sometimes you just need someone to square up their shoulders and go forward.
Yep.
And doing a lot of work. Looks like the try was awarded.
Yeah, so again, we said Morris is really good at that sort of A-channel, just taking the ball and using their big forwards to get through. So they finally crossed the try line on that one with some, again, keeping the ball in hand, just doing what they do really well, which is securing the breakdown, keeping possession, and just using their muscle to get through. So it was a good effort there on the Morris side.
That's got to be pretty close to the end of the first half. Oh.
There's another dent.
Ding. Point conversion is good from Rhodes. That's going to give Morris a 7-0 lead as we head into the halftime break.
Yeah, so again, a back and forth sort of battle here and just getting the first points on the board at the end. But from your perspective, I guess, what are you telling if you're the coach of the Red Hawks, what are you saying to them?
I think they're doing a heck of a job on defensively, causing those errors by Morris. And, it's coming, partly from the line pressure and the aggressiveness on the defensive front to keep them out. In terms of attack, they haven't really had the ball in hand very much in the first half. So you want to get possession and keep possession because they had some success when they got it down in the Morris end, weren't able to turn it into points, but they just haven't given themselves enough opportunities to be in a position to put points on the board. So I'd want to retain possession, get possession first, retain it, and see if you can put some pressure on Morris to put some points on the board.
Yeah, you definitely saw some glimpses of, their attack shape and what they're trying to do. Again, they didn't have the ball too often, so that's, as you point out, right? If they can get that possession and then get it to their backs, which seemed pretty skilled, I think they may pressure the Morris back line a little bit there and see if they can put them under pressure and break through. They had a couple of long breaks, actually, too, if you remember, but they just didn't have the support there to cover. So one down the sideline and then one up the middle. They have some weapons. They just need to be able to sort of get the ball into those players' hands and let them run. How about Morris?
And I got to give credit to Olive Rhodes. We talk about her all the time in terms of what she can do in attack and defense. I think her foot was a big part of put Morris in a position to hold off Raleigh defensively. She had a couple clearing kicks that, really took the pressure off of Morris defensively, and then she does the stuff that we know that she's going to do every match on attack, and I'd look for her to maybe settle things down with the team. She's growing in her leadership role. And as I'm looking across the field, she's in the center of the huddle right now, leading the halftime conversation. I think they just need to settle down, trust their skills, and keep doing what they're doing. And I think the knock-ons and those things should correct themselves with just calming the nerves a little bit, and should put themselves into some positions to score some more points.
Yeah.
And defensively, they've been solid.
Yeah. Again, except probably for that one up the middle thing, their defensive line shape looks pretty good. They're putting pressure on the Red Hawks. And as you mentioned, sort of Olive's territorial kicks have really, when they had pressure, she was able to relieve it. So again, that's kudos to her for having that vision. And again, she doesn't panic, right? So we were talking a little bit about this yesterday. A lot of players kick just to kick, right? They feel like they're panicked and they just kick it, and it's not a very effective kick. They still may know when to kick, but it isn't an effective kick. And it's great to see the kicking game in general for the girls at this level. Every team is kicking now. So before maybe there was one or two. Now every team's kicking, and now it's just a matter of getting more experience and understanding how to kick for territory, make sure that you're kicking it to the space, and you have those support runners really chasing down to make it an effective either kick for territory or potentially a turnover ball if you can get it. So yeah, all that stuff is great to see. I'd like to see Olive do her normal run up the middle.
Shifty run up
just
the
so
middle.
hard to run. I'm waiting to see one of those this match happen. But so it's coming. It hasn't happened yet, so it happens at least a couple times each game. So
you're talking about the increase in the amount of kicking, and sometimes there's almost an overuse of the kicking game. But I think that's driven by these backs that have moved into the coaching ranks, and they just say good kick every time that the ball makes contact with someone's foot. It's a interesting technique that comes into the coaching ranks when they let non-forwards be coaches. I don't know why World Rugby continues to have a view that they would empower these coaches to do sort of these things that encourage the ball to go high in the air and far for no reason other than to make the pretty backs get a good stretch of the legs.
There's been a couple sort of second row kicks I think we saw yesterday too. So it's not just the backs. Some forwards are trying to do it. We don't necessarily encourage that, but if they can do it, it's effective. Have fun. So there's the whistle. So it looks like we should be starting back up here in a second. So the wind is picking up a little bit. So, just talking about the kicking game, this initial restart's going to be critical.
Yeah.
And so Morris has sort of a little bit of momentum. getting those points right at the end. So now it's up to the Raleigh team to understand how they can flip that a little bit. So good kick here, because I think that Morris is going to be receiving. If Raleigh can give a good kick, maybe either contested or put some pressure onto them, cause Morris to make a mistake, they start with immediate territory.
Yeah, looks like the clouds are increasing. We're expecting rain later in the day. Hopefully it holds off until we're sitting in our cars driving all the way home. Make that ride up 95 enjoyable for the New Jersey and Philadelphia people that will be returning back.
Yeah, not looking forward to it. But on my way down, I did go a different route, and I got my first experience with Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's has been a big subject of the broadcast this weekend. Those of us from the West Carroll team are looking forward to our stop at Buc-ee's on the way home. Yeah, they got a licensing deal with it.
Yeah.
We won't have to talk about steamroller anymore if we can get that Buc-ee's money rolling. If we get the beef jerky money rolling in, we'll be all right. All right, we're off in the second half. Good take by DJ Corden off the front. Hard tackle from the Raleigh player. I apologize, folks. The Raleigh numbers are a little tough to pick up. It's going to be a high tackle penalty to Morris. Rhodes takes control. Looks like she's going to have an attempt to touch. Ball hung up in the air, but it was just enough to reach touch. A little bit of wind.
Yeah, and maybe that's a little bit of experience, right? So, what you'll see a lot of times is the winger actually standing in the out-of-touch area and ultimately trying to hit it and throw it back in. So, again, a little bit of experience. Could have...
Petrucci on the throw-in. Hits Corden on the back. DeMarco scrum half takes into contact. Played by Miller off the back. Good support from Morris to ruck over. DeMarco again. Hits Kennedy. Into contact. Morris contains. And it looks like right off the bat, the first couple phases, Morris is doing a better job to get there and support the runner. Get all the way to the outside. Looks like they're close to the touchline. Pick and go. Good support from Morris again. Ball bounces. There's the shifty run from Rhodes that we were waiting for. Looks like we have a penalty for diving over the top.
Yeah, not rolling away. Yeah, so for those maybe not as familiar, so when you make a tackle, you have to sort of roll away immediately. And it looked like one of the Raleigh players made the tackle sort of laying on the side of Morris, and that inhibits the scrum half from trying to replay the ball quickly. So what they want is quick ball, quick movement, and so if you're stopping that play from happening, they're going to ping you for a penalty. It looks like that's what happened.
Clean line out ball. Here comes the driving maul.
It's a nice one.
Yeah, this is going to be a try for Morris. Well done.
Yeah, and that's so hard to sort of stop. Once it gets moving too, it's pretty difficult. Either you got to try to pull it down and you get a penalty, or you sort of just got to put more people into it, which sucks everybody in, and then they just spin the ball wide, and that creates the space there. So super effective if it works. In that case, Morris has been doing this for years and very effective.
Yeah, DJ put the try down, and somewhere in New Jersey, Bill Dobbs has a smile on his face as he drinks his morning coffee and sees that all is well in the world and the rolling maul still works at Morris.
Yeah, a little bit of a tough kick here for Olive. Wind's interface on pretty much within the 5-meter channel, looks like, or at least the 15. But she's got the leg.
That was
And
a great strike.
hit.
Wow.
That is tremendous.
That's about as good a start to the second half as you could ask for Morris. They march down the field. They support. They maul. They
and they
hit a great kick. And
they made the passes, and they didn't have that unfortunate knock-on that was sort of causing them to stop and start in the first half. So some good effective passes to the outside allowed them to get the space, and then they used their forwards again for those quick pick and goes to really tighten up the defense, and then
strong set piece work the entire way down the field. It's just stuff that you come to expect from a Morris team. Restart high in the air. Not fielded cleanly. Bounce around. Looks like Raleigh's able to maintain possession.
Yeah, that's where maybe a little bit of the wind is causing it to flutter around up there, and catcher didn't quite understand how to get underneath it.
Nice tip pass. Looks like we'll get another not rolling away penalty. Taken quickly by Bettis.
Yeah, so this is where the Red Hawks need to, again, establish some control. All right, they have possession now. Let's see what they can actually do with it, because they haven't had possession much.
Yeah, that's a strong run. Wow. Got a little shape at the short side of the field there, taken. Referee says play on.
Yeah, I was going to say that was going to be an unfortunate little bobble there, but the ref says play on. Some good hands there. See, they have some movement.
Going backwards a little bit, but they're trying to resettle.
Yeah, this is where they need to just set it up and keep that possession.
And Morris is able to turn it over.
So that's a little panicky, and then they sort of run away from their support.
Morris unable to find touch, but they catch a break because the ball was knocked forward.
Yeah.
And sometimes knock-ons get contagious, and the nerves start building, it compounds, and things can go sideways.
Yep.
You're seeing, Raleigh was on a good run 30 seconds ago, and Morris has flipped the field by 60 yards. Just a couple mishandles and going backwards. And that's going to lead to frustration. And sometimes it just takes a single player from Raleigh to get control of the ball, make a play, and turn things in the other direction.
Yeah, I think they need to trust their set pieces. And again, with the ball in hand, they're pretty effective. You like to see maybe a strike runner or something trying to strike through, but it's just I think after the second or third phase they panic a little bit, and then they just need to settle down, set it up, make sure they keep possession, and then do what they're doing, which is getting the ball out, and just they'll find the gaps.
Throws his ball out to Weinstein, taking the deck, maybe a chance at a. Looks like we're going to come back to an offsides penalty off of the previous set piece. Rhodes will have another shot at touch.
Yeah, a little far out for the maul potentially, but you never know.
Is it ever too far out for the maul, Shane?
With the Morris, not. Again, after that last one, I would try it again.
The same as a pick and go. You can pick and go, goal line to goal line.
It was pretty effective the last time. So
taken.
It looks like they were going to do it, but I think not straight.
A little gust of wind may have taken that. Not straight.
Yeah. So this is where Raleigh again. There's not a ton of time, right, with these shortened halves. So we're probably 7 minutes in, maybe or so.
Yeah, about 10 minutes in.
10 minutes.
Halfway
So
through the second half.
they got around 10 minutes left. They're down by 2 tries with, I believe, 2 conversions. So they really got to hold on possession. Even if they're deep in their territory here, they got to make sure they're either keeping possession or really kicking effectively and putting pressure on Morris. But they have to find a way to score.
Kick forward. Bounce around a little.
So they do get the turnover, but ran out of bounds. Unfortunate. So again, I don't know if that kick was where they were going, but it ended up being effective.
Yeah.
Again, I would have liked to just seen them go for it, right? Like, get the ball out and see if you can make some breaks. Really try to have some fun here in the last 10 minutes.
Another not straight infraction. The wind has been kicking up, making it a little difficult for the line-out throwers. And yesterday in their match against the Raleigh Cobras, Morris was susceptible to some of those long breakaway runs. They made a lot of plays, and Raleigh really the Raleigh Cobras made the difference by striking quickly and making some long runs that were able to get them the victory. So I think that's what the Redhawks made. They got to keep the faith and know that they can make a strike, and it just takes a great take by DJ to pull the ball out of the air. It's tough with Raleigh. That's the second time in a row that they've kicked. You can't score if you don't have the ball in your hands.
Right, and and it was. I don't know if they were looking to kick it deep and it just didn't go so far, but they're kicking it to Morris, right? So if you want to keep possession, you either got to kick to that space or just keep it in hand and have a run at it. So again, but now they have a good attacking platform. Sort of a scrum, a little bit off center, but they have space on both sides with some effective backs. They just need to trust themselves and let them run with it.
Looks like they're going to try the short side of the field. Another kick through. Fielded by Rhodes. Shifty run by Rhodes, and she may break one there. There it is.
We knew there was going to be one.
Good chase coming from the Raleigh player, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough.
Yeah.
Great individual effort there by Olive Rhodes.
Yeah, unfortunately, Raleigh went for another kick, but it sort of went right to a Morris player.
Yeah, that's exactly where they didn't want it to go.
Right, yeah, into their most dangerous runner on the Morris side. So, and all she needs is a couple little gaps, and she's going to be gone. She's just a strong runner. It's hard to bring her down with one person. But she was able to squeak through, and then she has the wheels to finish it off. So
yeah, she's always had very active feet, and she can move from side to side, breaking 3-4 tackles. It's not like she's overwhelming you with size or that power. She's just so elusive, and then she has explosiveness that allows her to sort of explode through those small areas to break the line.
Yeah, and she's not necessarily the biggest, but she's really strong. So she uses that stiff arm and fend. And again, if you're not in close to that tackle, you're not bringing her down. So again,
arm tackles aren't going to work with her because she's going to blow right through them.
So unfortunately, that's a little bit of a backbreaker for the Redhawks, but there's still time. They got to sort of regroup here and see if they can just get the next score. Right, that's got to be the focus and the mindset.
Yep.
Keep playing hard. You got probably around like 7 minutes left. So let's see if you can score here.
Got a little under 5 minutes left in the second half here. Kick did not go 10 meters, so we're going to come back to a scrum center. to Morris. You can't say enough about if Morris had a formula as how they have had success through the years, it's through the set pieces and, the strong support, right? The adjustments that Coach Rhodes made at halftime were just to get, it had to be just to get back to what Morris is known to do. And then, they're following the script in the second half here, putting up two tries with, just sort of a workmanlike approach. And
yeah, and again, they're not doing too much crazy stuff, right? They're just keeping the ball in hand, and that's limiting now the unforced errors that they had in the first half. So they're not trying to do too many moves. They're just really keeping it in hand, slowing the pace down, and playing their game.
Yeah, that's the advantage of having such a strong system, is if you do have younger players or players from other programs that are hopping in, that you can just sort of fall back on those systems that you work so hard to implement through the years, and helps the continuity of the club.
Yeah, you can't replace the experience with playing with other players. It's where you see some of these select side teams, and they come against a club team sometimes in some of these tournaments, and it's the club teams or the single school teams that typically do well because they're just playing with each other.
Yep.
So you may have some athletes that you're trying to bring together, but that continuity goes a long way.
Scrum control by Raleigh. See if they have a little run there.
They had the gap again, and they just, unfortunately, the support runner wasn't there.
Bounces right up in the hands. Rhodes to the foot. A lot of space in the back. The chase is on. Recovered by Raleigh, but here comes Rhodes.
Yeah, and that's where that's an effective kick, right? Saw the space, kicked it to where their players weren't. Then you had the chase and the pressure.
Chased it down. I think she gnawed on the player's ankles until her support came, her defensive support came and finished the tackle. Raleigh trying to run it out here. It looks like we have a player down, and we're going to stop things for safety reasons. Well, she quickly gets back on her feet. May have been a fake out to the referee, but good job by the referee blowing it dead and just to stay on the safe side.
So, again, Raleigh deep in their territory, but down a bunch of tries. What I hope that the girls do, just play with it, right?
Yeah.
At this point, just see if you can get through the line. Trust your backs, who are really skilled. They just haven't really had the chance to really open up and run. So, even they're deep in their territory at this point, I'd like to see them run it, have a go at it.
Good clearance kick, but well played by Morris.
So,
A big run by DeMarco.
yeah, I was going to say they sort of gave away possession again, but a little bit of a bobble there allows the Red Hawks to regain possession. So now,
They have some numbers. See outside if they can get it there. There's a run.
That's what we wanted to see, yeah.
Played off the knee, unfortunately. It's a touch.
You have an option. It was knocked on into lineup. You can have a
So they'll have the option to play the knock-on or the line-out going into touch. It looks like they've selected to take the line out.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate there. If they would have made that, nice little offload, I think they would have had a lot more territory to gain there on the run. So just a little unfortunate error again.
Attempt at the line out to the front.
Not straight. All right, some pace.
That was a strong run up the middle. Releases, gets back to her feet, takes off. Shifting through. Has a shot in the hair pull. And we're going to have some litigation.
Yeah, I think that's going to be that might be a yellow. They again, that's don't know the rules exactly, right? Whether sometimes they say the hair is part of the uniform if it goes too low. So, but yeah, and
so that'll be a penalty try, a yellow card. That'll put Raleigh on the board with 7 points.
Yeah. So because there wasn't anybody behind, the likelihood that the player would have scored if it wasn't for the infraction.
Right.
So that's where the referee makes a judgment call and awards not only the penalty try, but what that means is they sort of don't have to take the conversion. They get the automatic 2 points. So they get on the board with 7 there.
Yeah.
Maybe comes with a little bit of a headache for the player that got the hair pulled. But we saw what we were hoping for is that those runs.
Yeah, they kept the ball on the
slicing
ground.
through, right? They have it.
Another
They have
opportunity.
more on
Numbers
the
on the
outside.
outside. Oh, unfortunate.
It went backwards.
Very strong run.
Could be another high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like he has his arm up for the advantage. Raleigh playing with a man advantage as a result of the yellow card off the penalty try. Ball turned over, but it's going to come back and go to the high tackle penalty.
Yeah,
A spark of life from Raleigh here in the last few minutes.
That's a nice hard run.
Punishing run, yeah. Good work by the 10 Bettis. She's had a pretty good weekend.
Yeah, unfortunately dropped it there.
That's going to do it. Final score is 21-7. Victory to Morris, who's going to have a enjoyable ride back to New Jersey this afternoon after going 2-1 on the weekend. A strong finish by the Raleigh Redhawks to get themselves on the board.
Yeah, they didn't quit, and then they were able to really keep the ball in hand, especially on that drive to score. So again, no quit, and they really played well at the end there. So it was good to see. All right. Well, I think we're taking a quick break, and then we'll be back for game number 2 on Sunday.
Wait. Should I go? Is there anything that I need to?
I don't even know what that is.
Okay.
I know. Yeah, I thought.
Do you think
I know. No,
we have to go now? Do you think there's anything else I need to ask?
Pregame thing and you like do something like that to signal. As soon as there's a backward motion and then forward, that's considered your punch.
but I didn't do that. I stand by that. I stand by. Here, no, don't worry about it. I stand by. I know.
I thought I also.
Troy, nice job, Troy. Nice job.
I'm so happy about that.
You mentioned that you would do the
Well, in high school, it's also like high school girls. It was nasty. It was like it was the airing. It was airing of grievances. It was so bad. So it's like normally I have a whole suitcase.
Yeah. So anyway, that's you going on the land.
So I look at the galaxy.
Just so you know, we're playing again.
I'm going. Well, I was at some point I was weird.
But he just blew it. Not far
You're in it now, man. Now you're in it. You know what? Here, let me ask you this. Well, don't look too close out. Yeah. This is how I
All things.
They caught him on the live stream.
You're telling me I have to say this.
I ran ready and I said, let's go meet all the guys.
Yeah, this is the. Now you understand. This is why I like.
I just, like this. We're talking about it this time. I know.
I think you're in a good, very reasonable. Thanks, morning.
Morning.
My touch judge.
Yeah, I was
Great.
voluntold.
Excellent.
Scarlett, you good?
How are you doing?
Oh boy, he's over here.
All I really need you to do is just tell me when the game is at, man. Okay.
He's walking from the bathroom.
voluntold.
Good morning, folks. We're back for the 10 o'clock matchup at the Rugby South Showcase on Sunday. Brian Melody joined by Mr. Steamroller Rugby Jeff Adamczyk in a return gig from yesterday.
Hi, folks. How you doing?
If nobody else makes the trip, and they give us the control.
The responsibility, which is dangerous.
We have all the control. The skeleton crew for the second day here.
Lovely, breezy, and somewhat chilly Greensboro, North Carolina.
Our fearless leader, Mike Eisenhart, is
Who
center field right now with the whistle to take control of the action between Downingtown, which is in the light blue.
who matches the referee?
Yeah, that's a misstep. Kickoff cleanly fielded by Wando. Number 6 Beulah maintained.
We've been told that Wando has a bunch of new players.
Ball spills forward.
Make the clock start. The clock. Yep. Technical producer DJ Corden is starting the clock a little late, so we're going to be probably a minute or so behind on the clock.
Strong run off the first breakdown from the first scrum down by Downingtown. Downingtown had a good day yesterday with 2 wins.
Oh, you got to reset it.
McGettigan deals. Spreading the ball the outside. Headed for the corner. Wando makes the tackle. Close to the try line. And it looks like it's pushed into touch. So early on, Downingtown making the good effort to move the ball wide.
Thank you, DJ.
DJ does it all. She scores tries. She fixes our software.
And she ran away now, so we can't blame everything on her like we did yesterday.
Fade to black. I'll get the first line of the day. Wando's put in.
That was not straight. Thrown to pretty much right to Wando's first jumper. Directly. Has to go down the middle of the tunnel. Or at least a veiled attempt at looking like it went down the middle of the tunnel. So go to a scrum and Downingtown's feed.
And McGettigan deals wide again.
Good tackle.
Yeah, it's going to be a try scored by number 3, Jakara Dixon.
Sorry, folks, on that replay.
Gives Downingtown a 5-0.
Need a little more caffeine here. Start working this technical operation that we have going on here.
We're a mess this morning here, folks. Bear with us.
I just got her text. I was wrecking the first game, so I just texted her back.
Abby McGettigan for the kick.
Gideon's kick is good. Downtown
Yeah, she's absolutely fine.
takes a 7-0 lead.
She's not playing this one.
Mike Eisenhart changed everything up on us, so we're figuring how to
Yeah, we will.
adjust the score. We'll get to it.
I'm not worried about it. Yeah, I couldn't remember which.
So Wanda with the kickoff back to Downtown. Not going to go 10. Option of scrum center or re-kick, and most times you're going to take the the scrum. Clean off the back. Potential offsides. Mike's letting it play though. If Downingtown can spin this quick, you've got a nice little gap over here on the right side. Advantage to Wando on the knock-on. It's tied up pretty good, though.
Come on.
Like to see the Wando players keep their feet going a little bit more. Sort of getting stymied, held up.
Knock backwards.
Downtown recovers the ball.
Tara Fernando on the recovery. McGettigan deals wide. We talked about her a lot yesterday. McGettigan's really emerging as one of the better players in the EGRL. And you see her just sort of taking control of the field, and as well as being a leader on this Downingtown team.
And I meant to say hi to Lily yesterday, but I said Abby. So, hi, Lily, if you're watching this.
Everybody up at Brown is having a great weekend. They're probably hitting the books early this morning.
Oh, I'm sure, yes, of course. I would be.
Unless they're on spring break. I'm not sure they may be on spring break this week. Nice kick
Good
over the
play
top
from
of McGettigan. Little space. She's going to run it down herself.
Would have been nice to see the centers and the wings go with her.
Yeah, breakaway run by number 17.
So I try to teach my players, once you see a player drop the ball down for a kick, that they start running and get
a
flat.
name on 17, but that was a nice run. And yeah, we were talking in the last game, during the Morris game, about the evolution of the kicking game. And then the next sort of piece of it is to get that connection on the kick chase. And better decision-making when there's kicking or where the kicking is. Olive Rhodes from Morris had a tremendous game where she tactically kicked to space. And, there was a connection with her support that, really makes it effective. And sometimes, if you have a one-off runner, it can, backfire on you, and the other team can break away.
Yeah, the point of a kick is either get the distance or get the ball back. So ideally, you want to try to get the ball back, or at least put good pressure on it. So if they do catch it, they get taken to ground. miscue on the passes there. It's a lot. What you see a lot is if one pass is off or high or whatever, like a rainbow, then the successive passes after that sort of go to heck too.
Yeah, we saw that in the last game with the Raleigh side. Sometimes those mishandles become contagious, and one happens, and they start, snowballing, and it just builds pressure on players. And
usually, once the timing is off, so if there's one bad pass, the timing goes completely off. And I always tell my players just to crash the ball.
It's like the Christmas lights. One light goes out, then they all go out. They start blinking, and it's madness.
That's a good analogy.
It's what they pay us the big bucks for.
Apparently.
That's where we were hanging out late last night, coming up with these production notes to make this the best broadcast possible.
You were taking notes?
No, mental notes.
Oh, okay. So it was an offside penalty, and then Downtown kicked the touch, so then a line out.
Looks like they tried to hit the front jumper. Nice prod work from Downingtown, working through contact. Yeah, we'll see what McGedd can do with their back line.
That probably would have been a nice play if the I think it was the center had gone behind Abby instead of in front of her.
Anybody needs that's staying longer. Anyone? No? You want one?
Usually, if your referee wears the same color as a team, you'd like them to be a little taller instead of the same size as the players.
Oh, he's the bald one.
Yeah.
With the whistle. Yeah, the good ball movement coming from Wando here.
Good defensive coverage by Downtown.
Yeah. Nice two-man tackle there by Downtown.
Wando's very compressed. They should be using more of the field than they are right now. But did create some space on the outside, so.
Excellent pace on the individual run there. See if she can keep it in bounds. And right
now, she just settled the ball. Get reset and play out of it. No release penalty to Wando.
Yeah, looks like McGettigan made the tackle and was trying to play the ball, and the referee wasn't satisfied with her releasing the ball carrier.
He's a strict one. So if you're watching for the first time, we're playing 20-minute halves. Normal high school match is 35. All teams here have played or will play 3 matches.
Yeah, Downingtown went 2-0 yesterday. They had a pretty good day.
Even with some teams trying to play with 16 against them. I'm not going to say who. Might have been us. We didn't realize it.
It was unintentional.
Yeah.
It's a breakaway by Hanlon. Offloads back to McGettigan. McGettigan going through the middle. She scrambles. Keeps her feet driving through. Downtown there for support. Run forward, trying to get to the edge. Oh, offload. Good job keeping the ball moving.
She probably should have just gone on the ground with that. Played a quick ball out of it.
Hammering around from Kayla. Yeah, she's going to try.
She's tough to bring down. There's certain somebody here that keeps forgetting to hit the replay button. Sorry about that, folks.
Not only does he miss the replay button, but he stands in the way of the replay button to make it harder for anybody else to hit the replay button. But a strong run by Downingtown to take a 12-0 lead early on in here against Wando. Meraki's going to attempt the conversion.
Almost hooked in.
Yeah, the wind is picking up this morning, making it a little difficult for the kicking end, especially on the lineouts in the first match. Downingtown 12, Wando 0. So there's probably about 5 minutes left. Our clock's off. We've got a late start on the clock here in this match. So I'd say we're probably a minute or two behind the time that's being kept by the referee on the pitch. Restart, strong restart, kick deep.
And that's all that matters. So initial went backwards and then ended up going back forwards. So we'll have a scrum to Wando around the 22 or just over the 22. So it'd be nice to see Wando get some points here.
Yeah, they're in a good position to attack from here. The center of the field, they have options left, options right. Disadvantage is, they are a team that's made up of a couple different clubs. I'm not sure how many opportunities they've had to practice together to work on their strike plays. They're going to have a go to the short side of the field here. Strong tackle there by Hanlon, I'm sorry. Solid fight. The breakdown looks like there's going to be an advantage being played. Referee's arm is in the air. McGettigan deals. Downtown gets the ball wide.
And Wando's doing a good job defensively. They're kind of lacking in some solid strike runners in the back line. And especially like in that instance, they really needed one. There's just somebody hit a line straight and hard and run somebody over. But
yeah, just give a different look to Downingtown. Put some pressure on them defensively so that they have to stop.
But what's worked for Wando is swinging the ball from one side to the other side of the field. So if they can exploit that, then they'll be better off.
Crouch. Line. Set.
Put in from Downingtown.
8 pick.
Yes! Lower! Push out! Push out! Ready!
Wando almost got that ball back, but then lost it.
Good ball movement from Downingtown, trying to spin it wide. Good coverage by Wando, though.
Kayla knocks it on. So Wando has an advantage to play the ball.
Good run by the 8, Lily James. Ball squirts out the back. We're going to go back and we're going to play the advantage, which was for an offsides infraction against Downingtown. So Wando's going to have a couple options here off the penalty. We're going to have a toe through and we're going to run a penalty play.
Oh. 15 was stood up on the contact. Probably just needed to get a little lower. So you want to sink down once you get into the defense. You want to like crouch, sink yourself down, turn yourself into a cannonball.
By Williamson. Ball spills
Knock
forward.
on.
Downtown recovers. Strong run by Maraki.
Pretty good fend.
Dixon powers forward. Miscavige deals out to McGettigan. Downtown going wide. Offload pass so they can keep it in bounds. They turn in. See if they have anything set up coming in the opposite direction. Miscavige out.
That's good. Maybe one more
Punch
punch
ball
like that, and swing it would be good.
Headed to New Haven.
Lost in contact.
Ball pops out. Looks like we're going to play the knock-on advantage to Wando. Wando's going to try the short side of the field. Good run by Lily James. She's been a powerful runner so far, trying to work the ball back. Corcoran, the scrum half, deals to Soul, number 6. It looks like we're going to take a moment to collect ourselves. There's going to be a knock-on. Multiple knock-ons. We're going to go back and play the first knock-on to Wando. Wando will have the scrum down put in. Jeff, what do you think you're seeing? Wando seems to be coming together nicely here. Yeah, put some phases together. And
I'd like to see some of the Wando forwards get out into the back line a little bit. They're kind of keeping them all together. So it would be nice to see the flankers or some strong runner bounce out to the back line.
Yeah.
Give them a little power.
Yeah, they have some athletic forwards. I think they would cause some mismatches on some of the smaller Downingtown players if they could just spread out a little bit and attack. Handled by Wando. There's a good line movement off the fullback.
Downingtown does a good job shutting it down.
Gettigan goes barreling through the breakdown to disrupt and turn over the ball to Downingtown. Don't usually see the fly half going in and causing destruction like that at the breakdown. But I wouldn't say she's a normal fly half.
Not anymore.
That's going to be the end of the first half. Downingtown 12, Wando 0. Here at the Rugby South Showcase.
In overcast and windy or breezy Greensboro area, North Carolina.
And we'll be back in just a couple minutes, folks, for the second half of today's matchup.
That's what I felt like. I felt like, hey, I've been doing this all my life.
Wait till about the 17th time he's asked. I'm hooking you all up right now. You know what we're doing here, right? Yeah, believe me. Ride that as long as you can.
Yeah. St. Julie out in the backyard, I'm just going to go. You hear that? That group there, they run their mouth the whole time.
Okay, so I gotta watch out for them? Okay.
All of them. Constant chatter.
I can handle that.
You just do it right.
Then we're gonna be in trouble.
Hi, folks. We're back. Sorry, we are trying to work off a laptop that's not scrolling appropriately. So the game clock should be about, the end of the game should be about 45 on the clock you're seeing on the broadcast.
Lily James from Wando with a good run.
Should be towards like 47-ish.
Mishandled ball going back and forth. We're going to go another penalty towards Wando. It looks like that they were playing with their, not holding their weight up. A little bit of sloppy start here to the second half. Strong tackle from Downingtown. I think that was a 13. Hanlon. Another good tackle from Downingtown.
Downtown is definitely doing a good job putting pressure on.
Yeah, they're known as a physical side. Very good at the disruption at the breakdown. And good fend from the Wando player. It's at the bottom, number 8, James.
One of the harder things to teach players is to know when to keep fighting and when to go to ground, because sometimes you just want a nice clean ball.
Yep.
So Wando's kind of keeping their feet a little too much.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge. You know, you're always taught that you don't want to get tackled, but in rugby, it's better to get tackled and be able to reset and create a platform for your teammates than it is for you to gain those extra yards as a individual runner. Wando kicks for touch and is going to have a line out coming in around the 22-meter line in the attacking zone.
I have one of my seniors here, Adelina Jackson, potentially going to Mount St. Mary's. You want to say anything to folks at home?
Hot take.
Hey guys.
Eloquent as always.
Eloquent.
Hi, you want to say anything to people at home?
You guys lucky she ain't playing. Just saying.
All right, here comes a line out attempt by Wanda. I parked out of range today. No, I didn't know if you guys needed to get into that. Apologies at home, folks. We're a little break in the action. The tent has been overrun by the Maryland Combined Services team. Hit any button you want. We don't know what they mean.
Yeah, we're barely figuring this out as we go.
Which one use the play-by-play and which one use the color?
We don't care. Brian and I do not like rolls. We just wing it, pretty much.
We got a put in coming from Downingtown here. 8-man pick going the short side of the field. Strong run. Offload to McGettigan. McGettigan offloads to the outside. It looks like they're going to keep it inbound. See if they can get it moving back across the other side of the
Downtown
field.
could swing this ball right now. It'd be great.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of sucking the Wando defenders in, and there's a lot of space outside if they can get the ball moving. Wando's going to want to try to get a turnover ball in the middle. They really need to pull their numbers over to this side of the field. They're going to find space through the middle. Puts the ball out, recovered nicely by the Wando runner.
So we had one pursuit, like Lucy was there, but then you just need a couple more. But it was a good defensive play, so it worked out in their favor. Nice little grubber.
Touch found by McGettigan. Jeff, being in the rugby apparel business, what do you think of the referee's choice of a light blue jersey during a match that consists of a team that's wearing light blue jerseys?
Well, considering I made that jersey,
I feel regret.
can't remember why we did that plaid.
Great throw to the front, retained by Downingtown. Let's see if they can get something going here. Good dummy run. Get it in deals. Back to McGettigan. Numbers to the outside. Lots of numbers to the outside. Well done. Put
good.
out to the 14.
Excellent.
14's going to put it in the corner. Try time. Julia McNamee with the try for Downingtown. Really nice job moving the ball. They've had numbers a couple times now where they're sucking in the defenders from Wando and creating a lot of opportunities for overloads on the outside. And great job for Downingtown to identify that overload and to get the ball out there and score the try.
It's a nice string of passes.
It'll be a tough. That puts Downingtown up 17-0 against Wando.
Be a great time for Wando to get the kick back. Oh, they just
A good bounce on the restart kick, but it goes right into the hands of.
Wando had very passive pressure on that kickoff, and if they had put good pressure on, they probably could have got that ball back. But Downingtown has it.
Again, kicks over the top, finds space. Big bounce.
And good bounce for Downingtown. Good
really,
tackle.
Really
Yep.
good pressure by McGettigan to run that down, make the tackle. Sure she's going to have a shot at blowing up the route. No, she doesn't. Some restraint there.
Abby's done a good job placing her kicks today. She's been hitting ground and not people, so most of the kicks I've seen today, which is good.
Yeah, definitely one of the rising stars in the EGRL. And really impressive showing down in Tampa last month at the Territorial All-Stars.
Did we ever find out what the point difference? If it's 200 to 14? We scored 200. I forget. I think we scored a couple hundred, and then we had 14 points scored against us. But a lot of those games seem closer than they actually were. I felt it, at least. A lot of good players down there. I would encourage everyone to make the trip down to Tampa next year in February, President's Day weekend. You see some really good high school girl players from all over the country. Good contests in the ruck. Good tackle.
Strong tackle by McGettigan in the middle. Maybe a penalty to Wando.
We're about halfway through the second half.
All right, Wando finds touch. We'll get a line out here. See if Wando can get something going off this attacking platform just inside the halfway mark of the pitch. Mishandled, but it looks like retained by Wando. See if they can make a play off of that. Quick over the ball from Downingtown. Looks like they're able to turn over, but Wando was able to tear it out. Create the knock-on, so it's going to be a scrum down to Wando. Wando is from South Carolina. Downingtown is from outside of Philadelphia. Both teams members of the EGRL. Input to the Wando. Wando retains. Moving through the hands. Cut back inside. Looking for space. Ball squirts forward.
It's a nice little slashing run, and then she just lost it on when she hit the ground.
Yeah, shaking up on the play.
Go back to the first knock-on.
We're going to go back and we're going to play the first knock-on from referee Eisenhart.
The ball will go to Downingtown's feed on the first knock.
Nothing. About midway through the second half here. Looks like Downingtown's making some substitutions. It's a real challenge early on in the season. You know, outing like this, you're getting into your third game. You need to use your entire roster. It's important to have substitutions. And you also want to get some valuable playing time for players that haven't been outside yet.
Yeah, that's what we were...
Getting kicks through. Let's see if we can find touch. Handled by number 17 from Wanda. Has a nice breakaway run.
So we were talking to our team yesterday about there's a bunch of players. There's the first game of the season, and then there was some players that first 15's game ever.
Yeah.
So all the teams here are in that position. They want to get all their players some experience before the real season kicks off.
It's great to come to an event, Jeff, where the sole focus is high school girls rugby. A lot of times the girls rugby division is an afterthought in tournaments or just part of a larger tournament. But to have an event where the focus is completely on the girls is fantastic.
Yeah, it'd be nice to find a way to get the middle school girls involved here too.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely something that we've both worked on in some of the other programs, and the importance of building through the middle school programs, because these are the players that are going to be the high school players, and the more experience they have when they get to that high school level and playing better competition, the better everybody's going to be for it. And we'll see that in the next matchup with Doylestown. Is a strong middle school program that many of the players are making contributions on the high school side now.
It was an interesting penalty play by Downingtown. They switched out the backs with forwards. Well, it didn't work out for some reason. Didn't see what Mike called, but
seemed to confuse the referee.
Oh, apparently, and me.
Oh.
They're probably about 1 or 2 meters out.
Getting deals out.
And
great run up the middle.
So kick from center. The wind is going to her right. And unfortunately died her in the kick, so that's good.
Good strike. I think it was a little low. Attempt is no good. So it's going to put Doylestown. Whoa. I apologize to everyone out in Downingtown Nation. Sincere apologies for identifying Downingtown as Doylestown. This is Downingtown that is on the field right now.
And Doylestown.
I feel the wrath of Mr. McGettigan in front of me that's going to just take me out. It was a miss. Downingtown, 22. Wando, 0.
Doylestown's over on the other field.
Doylestown is over there.
They're playing next, so
We're not going to talk about them again.
to be fair, Brian is staring at green jerseys on the far field warming up. So
Doylestown on the brain. Good run here by Downingtown. Pow.
Kayla fending off people.
Fantastic run by Kayla. That's something we've seen out of Downingtown a lot over the last few years.
Not sure she's picked a school yet.
She's a powerful runner, and she's leaving it all on the field.
Yeah. She may have overexerted herself on that one.
Yeah, she has size and speed, and really hard to bring down. And she explodes through that line break, and she's tough to stop when she gets to that downhill speed.
Abby's back to kicking duties and
Kicks
went
no
to the
good.
left a little bit.
So that puts the lead at 27-0 to Downingtown over Wando here. The closing minutes of the second match of the second day at the Rugby South Showcase.
Kayla's taking a sub, taking a break.
Looks like she's back on her feet, which is good to see.
That'll be not 10.
Restart kick did not go 10.
I would assume a center scrum.
Teachable moment from referee Eisenhart. I think he was explaining to the Wando players that they could just touch the ball to kill it of the kick not going 10 to create the center scrum opportunity for Downingtown.
Which is currently not at center.
If it had gone untouched, Downingtown would have had the opportunity to run up and try to play the ball, which it didn't look like anyone on the Downingtown side intended to do. So
The scrum has been moved to the accurate center of the field.
And what do you think? Downingtown's doing a lot of great stuff. Sort of the bread and butter of their program is strong back play with some powerful.
Definitely go right now.
Forwards. Looks like Wando was able to
Nice
steal
steal. It's fortunate for Wando to get that steal, because if Downingtown had shifted the entire back line over to the right, it was wide open.
it. Good run by Lily James. She's been a strong runner for Wando today. Doing a nice job.
Stay away from the sideline.
Good swan tackle.
Good
Driver up.
tackle, trying to get her out of bounds. Looks like it may have knocked forward.
No, we're going to play the advantage for the high tackle.
Mike Eisenhower calls a high tackle.
Kicking and tapping.
Get low. Get with her. Action her line.
That's the time where you want the player to just go to ground.
Yeah.
Because if the defense had launched up on that, it's a tough one to catch.
A good job by Downingtown to lock on the ball, create the not releasing penalty. McGettigan going to kick for touch, which she gains. Referee calls last play, so that's going to do it with the next whistle. If you're Coach Snow, you got to be happy with Downingtown's going to go 3-0 on the weekend, headed into their Rugby Pennsylvania schedule. As they rebuild, they had a great senior class that graduated last year, and they got some younger players that are in the mix now that are picking up right where they left off last year.
Downtown just throw in and feed it off and then kick it out. But they're going to play it. A little extracurricular activity. And
McGettigan wants one more
just
before she
because,
goes home. Breaks through. Driving through, looking to offload. Great job by not making the offload pass and just taking on contact, giving a chance to reset. Here they go, pick and go. Just short.
And they should
Try
just
again.
do that. They should just do that the rest of the way. They're probably about 2 meters out, 1 meter out. About 1 meter out.
Play the ball back. Good job. Wando holds it up.
They should just do another pick and go.
Downtown's able to put it down. Try again.
Whoever took that did not get a good placement
There's
on
a
it.
pile, and it
Held
looks
up.
like
Yeah.
Wando's going to hold it up and prevent the score from happening.
Mike Eisenhower calls a high tackle.
We're going to come back and play a penalty. High tackle against Wando.
So unless Downtown wants some extracurricular activity, which it looks like they do, they're going to play it again.
Looking to get one more score on the weekend.
Downtown can swing that back. And knock.
And that's
That
going to
should be
do it.
Good showing by Downtown.
27-0 over Wando. 3-0 on the weekend for Downingtown. So they'll be happy with that effort. Standout play by McGettigan, who had a great weekend. And Coach Snow will have a lot to work with come the spring season.
So next we have Downing. Or sorry, oh boy.
Wow! Wow!
I know. Sorry.
Jeff, you're gonna have to apologize to the.
I'm sorry, Doylestown. My bad.
Well, now you're
Again.
apologizing to Doylestown.
Wait, well, I almost said Downingtown for Doylestown.
This is slippery slope that we're
I
going
know,
down here.
Yeah.
But the next matchup is probably going to be the marquee matchup of the weekend with Doylestown going against the Raleigh Cobras. Both teams had very strong showings yesterday in a rematch of the marquee matchup last year at the New Jersey Showcase, where they played the Sunday afternoon game, which was an absolute cracker of a match, back and forth action. So, two of the best teams on the East Coast are going to take each other on, coming up in about 10 minutes here. Going to kick off at 11 o'clock. So we're gonna hop off for a couple minutes. We'll be back with you.
And come back and watch it, because I think it'll be a good match.
Just give a shout out to a couple of our sponsors, Steamroller Rugby and Main Street Marathons, for all the support that they give to the EGRL, these broadcasts making it possible, and all that they do for the girls' high school rugby.
Proactivity.
Proactive, yeah. Bucky's, if you're listening out there, Mr. Bucky,
We're big fans.
we want the guy in the beaver to cut. The beaver suit's going to cut us a big check for all the publicity that the EGRL is giving you.
I think the Buc-ee's would be a great sponsor of the EGRL.
Get that triple meat brisket fired up. Eisenhart's coming for you. Adam Check's coming for you. Melody's coming for you. Bring that, Mr. Beaver. Have the check ready. EGRL, spell like it sounds. You can sponsor the rest of the season. We can have the Buc-ee's Eastern Storm.
Yeah.
Select side going down to Tampa next year.
Eastern State Storm Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's. All right. We'll be back in 5 minutes, folks, for the marquee matchup of the weekend.
Expect the hate mail. Here it comes. All the ones that messed up. We haven't screwed up Riley Cobras or Red Hawks yet. want to do play-by-play?
Yeah. Yeah, I can. Are you staying?
Yeah, I'll stay and do color, but.
I'm up here with my old phone. Don't keep it started. Otherwise, don't get.
Oh, he's ready. Oh, he's ready. She's ready. We have 3 minutes. That's when you have the best games, I swear.
Thank you.
All right, welcome back, sports fans. Welcome back, rugby fans, for today's, really, as Brian said, marquee matchup. This is a big one we're about to get started on. On the left side of the screen, you've got the Raleigh Cobras in the black, and on the right side of the screen, Doylestown Dragons in green. We're going to get this one underway shortly. We've got Joey Erasmus at the center, and he'll be making his way out any second. And it's probably a good time to just give everybody who's been involved this weekend in the event a shout-out and a thank you. Anyone who's watching knows that rugby in general, and rugby specifically on the girls and women's side, on the youth women's side, is it's held together by volunteers and just great people doing good work. So all weekend long, we've had people volunteering to keep this stream alive. So if you've appreciated it and liked it, it's kudos to them, really. So on the mic with me for this game is Brian Melody, coach at West Carroll. On the last game was Jeff Adamczyk, who's a coach at North Bay. On the camera, we got Trevor Caterson from both World Rugby Shop and also a little bit of everything down here. I'm trying to think of a job he doesn't do, but he's a coach and he's a ref, and he's been at the center for us, and now he's going to be on the camera. So that's a huge thank you. All weekend long, we've had Christine from Guilford, Christine Newcomb, who's really been involved in the genesis of this event 3 years ago. So it all comes together, and this is really the presumptive 1 and 2 in the East Coast. And so this is a match that most of us who know and watch rugby have been waiting for. Both teams are a little different than they were as the end of the season last year, 1 and 2. Doylestown now takes the ball. That's Jocelyn Terry, who took the ball in, and they started the season last year, just got better and better and wound up at 1. Cobras, who also had a great season, met at the June showcase, and they wound up at 2. So that's how they ended, and let's get us up to speed. Doylestown received the kick, ran a few phases, and that one was a knock-on, which means that now it's going to go to Cobras, and we're going to see the first scrum of this match.
Yeah, Mike, this is really exciting. The matchup in New Jersey back after the June showcase was an absolute barn burner, back and forth, physical, fast, just one of the better rugby matches that you've seen at the girls' high school level in a while.
Big push.
And both teams are reloaded and ready to go. Very impressive yesterday in their showings.
Yeah, I think that's actually spot on. I mean, they just both look good, and I know they're not at 100% on the Cobra side. Talked to Coach Mike this morning, so they're a little bit down. So that will certainly make a difference. Doylestown is missing a couple of key players as well, believe it or not. It's hard to imagine just based on how well they played, but they've had people fill in, and I mean, there are people who have just looked really strong. So the scrum is going to result in a knock-on, which now becomes a penalty, so we must have been playing advantage there. Did not see the call, possibly offsides, and it's number 10, Lillian, with the ball in hand. Now the ball comes out. Good, solid darting run, getting some ground there into the secondary tacklers, and that's Nola Flynn making the tackle. Now the ball is recycled and brought out. A little bobbled, but brought into the hands of the next person there in line on the tip pass, so that's always nice. And now we stop again for not rolling. That was Jada Bolton who had made that catch and carry. Ball comes out to the right side of the screen. Big, solid hit. The advantage arm is out. And looks to me like they were not 10 or released early, and so Cobras will get another shot at it. So some discipline issues right off the bat here. Lots of penalties, and Cobras taking advantage. Once again, 18 makes a real solid run. Do not have a number for that person, but it results in a try. So that is the opening scoring, and I think that's exactly what we expected from Cobras. They get on the front foot, and they just come at you.
Yeah, they come fast. We saw yesterday when they played Morris, and you know, you think you're containing them, you're doing a good job on defense, and they just have a great run, and looks like the conversion kick is good.
That adds 2 more to the score line, bringing it up to 7. And so it's Cobras with 2 minutes and 50 or so gone, striking first.
The thing I was impressed with yesterday about Doylestown is they did a really good job. They have a big roster, which nobody else down here does this weekend. They're doing a great job recruiting and building their program. But the mixing that Coach Stacy and Coach Shane have been doing to have their younger players, their freshmen, their sophomores, you know, some 8th graders, mix in with the All-Americans that they have up top. They are a top-heavy lineup, but it's filtering down throughout the whole program so that the younger players can make contributions. And as they build to later in the season, they got a big year going to Portugal and get through Rugby PA and the EGRL. They're going to be rolling out, 25, 30 players that can be trusted to be in a big situation, which is really an advantage over every other club right now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So that one, it goes to 2 knock-ons, but the first was against Cobras, and that's exactly as you're saying, what you expect, right? So you have these seniors on Doylestown who, as a fan of the game and people who have been involved in the league, we feel like we've been watching them forever, but they truly are seniors in high school, and they're so well-tuned at this point, and they've had so many years under their belt. But the key, and you said this, right, is that the integration of the younger kids, it just gives so many advantages. That program just will continue to build as long as they can get kids out. So that's always great to see, and I think the coaches there have taken the responsibility really, really seriously and made it happen. This is Accardi with the ball who brings it to Sapolo, so that's one of those youngsters who has filled in nicely. Leah, a freshman. Now to McGonigal, which is a dangerous combination because she starts getting the ball moving forward. Nola brings it fast, and now this is Paisley Davey. So Doylestown showing what they can do on the front foot. Now the ball recycled again. Accardi brings it out. This is Kayla Robinson out to Sapolo, who has the corner and the edge. It's going to be close, but the hand is up, and so we give the 5. So Doylestown does exactly what you would want them to do. They answer back, and in a strong way.
Yeah, and that's just what Doylestown brings. There's so many different ways that they can go at you. They have the size with the McGonigal, and they have the speed with Nola Flynn, and going the inside, the outside. There's so many weapons that it's hard to defend. This is starting off exactly as we had expected with a shootout.
So now the kick from the corner, which is no small task, but certainly there are kickers in this league who are up for it, Nola being one of them.
Happy to report my car safely parked behind the tent here and out of range as she dinged me yesterday.
That's a good strike, but just a little offline. And so the score remains 7-5. And we'll
exactly
get
what you expected from both teams coming out the bat. They're high-powered offenses and a lot of really talented players. And we were talking yesterday, a lot of these Cobras were on the Rugby South team that was down in Tampa a couple of weeks ago, who I was very impressed with throughout the weekends with their physicality and speed. I believe there were, 11 Doylestown players were part of the Eastern State Storm team that went down and was dominant in Tampa at the territorial.
That sounds right. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, you're definitely making a key point there, which is these two programs are feeding high-level players. I think the other thing you said that, for me, from a scouting perspective, is really the key is both have really high-powered attacks, and so it's going to be the defensive work that makes a difference. That's a knock on Davey, and the advantage is being played. And player coming through the ruck could be Fisk, and so we're going to go back for the knock-on advantage.
Yeah, both sides, you can't miss your tackles against either one of these teams because they're going to make you pay, and they can make you pay quick because they're so explosive, and they have so many weapons from different slots across the pitch that any mistake, you're going to get punished.
Yeah. No, I think that's exactly right. It's going to come to who can get some defensive pressure on a couple of key moments, sort of drive back the opponent and maybe win a ball here or there, because they both can score really at will. You give them any space, they're gonna take it and exploit it. Now the ball comes out, and it goes out to DeSoto, who now has it. That was Myers who made the quick tip outward, another dangerous player who saw a lot from yesterday. This is the 18. I apologize to the player who's wearing the 18. Has done a nice job, but we don't have a name for that. So anybody who's watching here locally or can get a message to someone from Cobras, get that name to us, and we'll try to call that person and give them credit. Now the ball comes out, looking for space in the outside. Doylestown there in pretty good numbers on the fold, and now the ball is cleaned up by Accardi. So lots of sort of sloppy ball, and I think that's hurting both sides a couple of times here. McGonigal with the offload to Beckenhauer. It's a dangerous 1-2 punch that we did see in Tampa. And now Accardi brings it out. That one off a hand. That's going to come back. And referee says you were offsides, and so we're going to come back for a penalty there.
Yeah, McGonigal she's such a special player. We've seen her develop over the past couple of years, and she's taken her skills to Sacred Heart in the fall. She's got great size, but her footwork and her hands that come from basketball backgrounds, that she's so athletic that she can make that tip pass, and here she's going to bang right into somebody.
Yeah.
Incredible player.
Yep.
Great potential.
Little off-the-hip offload there, and real good work by the opposing 9 to give some pressure. That's Addison Wells. But that's Beckenhauer, it looks like, who's driving on. Yeah, and you make a good point there. You can go up and down this roster and talk about the commitments. I mean, it's a laundry list. It's pretty much every NIRA program is getting a talented player, and I'm certainly happy, I'm sure, about it. This is Robinson, another one of the younger, really super soft, to McGonigal, who's looking, taken down, and the ruck is formed. So ruck speed by Doylestown so far, I think, offensive ruck speed looks good. And that is the scouting report for the northern teams as they come to the south. It's been that way for a couple of years. That, it's danger. It's, you have to watch these kids from the Carolinas. They come and clamp on that ball so fast that you better be there in numbers. This is Davey taking the ball through the center, breaking and carrying a few. Davey heading to Grand Canyon University in the fall, and they'll be happy to have her. Off the base of the ruck, that could be a penalty. Number 9 playing the ball, so looks like the sir at the center, Joe Erasmus, is going to call in the captain and have a conversation. That is one of those new laws, at the base of the ruck. Number 9 really shouldn't be played, can't get hit there when they're playing the ball. So that's something that's really been a player safety law that's gone into effect, and that time Cobras was the victim of that mistake. A mistake that Nola Flynn capitalized on and punishes them for that, and puts the ball in the corner, setting up the 5-meter lineout.
Yeah, it's as if you don't want to downplay anyone on the team. We barely mentioned Nola's name, and she's only the most decorated player that's probably ever come through the EGRL, and if not, any of the teams that we're familiar with, and that's how many weapons that Doylestown has. She's all everything, headed to Dartmouth, and one of the best players that I've ever seen in the high school level.
The ball looks crisp and strong, and they get the ball in, and we're going to show you that if we can. So there it is. You just see them driving on, and they just drop it out the back. That looks like something they've been doing in practice, because it certainly looks well formed. That's going to bring the scoreline to 10-7, and kick also from the corner. This could be Aaron DeLuca lining up for the kick. Gave Aaron a little shout-out yesterday, not on the broadcast, just sort of walked over and told her. But you don't see that many kicking props/locks, but this kid has a bomb of a leg, and so she might be able to make this kick.
That's probably due to a lot of narrow-minded backs coaches that make the decisions on who gets to make the attempts. That's a hell of a strike.
That's what I'm saying. This is a strike. It's just short, but wow, what a strike. And I do think that, one of the things that, for me, that seems to have opened that up is Sophie DeGoody from Canada, the Canadian number 8 / flanker, / second row / kicker, World Cup kicker. And you're right. Years ago, it's sort of like that was a no-no. Like, oh, you can't kick. You're wearing number 1 through 5, Not anymore. I mean, the hybrid players are showing it, and certainly even at the international level. So great work there. That's a great step. This is Jocelyn Terry, who has real good pace and shows it there. The offload bobbled a little bit. The arm is out, so must have been okay there. Going to continue. Davey out the back to DeLuca. Now to Sapolo. Look at the ball movement. This is Robinson. We've got, could be Sydney Haddon there with the ball. And now the ball back out to the right. Quick ball and just through the hands well. Now out again. 2 passes and we've covered a third of the field. That last one didn't go to hands, but McGonigal there to clean it up. Campbell Way takes it. 23, don't know that number. I'll double check it for you. That is Tara Beckenhauer. And now McGonigal gets the game going straight again. Now the ball out. McCarty. So Cobras did a good job to slow him down a little bit there. Unfortunately, that pass is dropped forward, and there'll be a knock-on advantage. So I think Robinson may have been expecting a little softer pass there, a little more sympathetic, and just bounced off the hand. So Cobras will get the scrum.
That was an amazing run of play. The ball movement from side to side. Every player on the field is touching the ball. You see there's a heavy sevens influence with the Doylestown program. A lot of the players are Atlantis players. And their ability to, whether they're backs or forwards, everybody's handling the ball, everybody's moving it, and they can just swing it and change direction so quickly. They're really difficult to defend.
You're absolutely right. And now Cobras bring it out. And the kick over the top is a smart play. And we got 2 back in coverage there. Looks like Mac Alois dropping and Leah Sapolo covering over. So, again, I think you're absolutely right. It's just it's a fairly complete game because it's a fairly complete lineup, right?
Yeah.
And so it's what a luxury that you can put in some of those more complicated schemes, whether on attack or on defense. But you can. I mean, when you have this many players who can, kids really who probably are out of position because their position is too deep.
Yeah.
Now the ball out. Line out looks crisp. This is Paisley Davey. Charging, putting the shoulder down, driving on, and back in near the 22 are Doylestown. So the clearance kick got him out. This is Alois, who has real speed. Going to show it here. And now brings the ball out through the hands of Way. McGonigal there to clean up again. And over is Beckenhauer, and Flynn picks it up. Now Robinson looking to seal. Ball is available, and that could have been Jocelyn Terry taking it and resetting, letting Nola get back in, and now the ball comes out again. This is Lily Fisk, the senior, who's heading to Thomas College, I believe, in the fall, setting the ball back. Now comes out to the right. McCarty looking. Beckenhauer. That could have been Alois again. And hands were on, but got lost. And so I think Myers thought she had that one. Sapolo looking. Robinson coming on with pace. Thought about getting it to Haddon, but couldn't, and lost it in contact. The referee going to have a little discussion there to see. Penalty offsides. The call coming in from the AR. The penalty offsides on Doylestown. Not 100% sure how, because they had the ball, but have to give that one some thought. So now the ball comes out and just about takes out our mic there.
We'll need that Bucky's money to start rolling into.
I know. I'm so glad you guys are throwing that out there. I mean,
lobbying.
We're that. It's a fair point. In all honesty, and we joke about it and we have fun, but it is something that is without a doubt on the mind of those of us who are trying to keep this league and this effort together. The cash flow situation for rugby is very, very low. And so, although we have so many volunteers and friends who keep these live streams alive and keep us able to pay the simple fees for things like trainers, boy, we could get some solid sponsorship. And so if you have a company, a small company, and you'd like to sponsor one of these streams, it's more affordable than you think, and we will happily talk about your business all day long because we want to bring this rugby and create this platform. When you see things like this, the ball comes out to the right, and that pass out to the right to Alois, who brings it to the corner, to now McGonigal to Beckenhauer, could be brought by you. So without a doubt, if you own a small business or know somebody who does or own a large business, we'll be even happier to talk to you.
Elon, give us a call.
That's right. Someone get in touch with Mark Cuban and let him know that the sport he loves is doing good things here on the East Coast. This is Haddon. Now out to the right. Davey, tough to tackle with momentum. And arm is out. Could be a high tackle. Now McGonigal driving, multiples on the tackle. Ball is set and available. Looks like they're going to try to punch it in. Could be Fisk. No, it's Terry. Buries the head, gains a few more. Right at the line. Still working. Hard to tell how close. McGonigal looks like a body. Could be from the side there. Referee says get out. Big smash forward. And the try is awarded. Did not catch the number on that one. Could have been Fisk. But real good effort there to bring the score to 15. So we are getting confirmation that was Lily Fisk, the senior who's heading to Thomas College, pounding that one in and getting those points. So 15-7 with about 15:30 gone on our clock. We'll see if NOLA converts and then what this final 4 minutes will look like.
Yeah, so you worry about the ball moving sideline to sideline with such pace and finesse, and then boom, they pound the ball in from short distance as well. Really, really impressive so far.
Flynn lines it up, sticks her up. That's going to add 2 more and bring it to 17. So a 10-point cushion for the Doylestown Dragons. And they are certainly looking like they're ready to live up to the hype of the season. I would say they had to come in as the presumptive number 1 on the East Coast. We have not made that call officially. We were waiting for this weekend to happen. For those that follow our Instagram page, keep an eye on it. We'll announce it when we put the rankings out. But, spoiler alert, you would figure these 2 teams were 1 and 2. And right now it looks like it's staying that way. Too early, more than a half to play. So Beckenhauer brings it out to McGonigal and they get back to work. And Cobras will look to defend and possibly poach a ball and get the momentum back. Flynn looks over the top on the box kick. It takes a Doylestown bounce, and Alois is there to clean it up. I mean, how athletic is that? Now the ball out. Beckenhauer right there. Drives on. Called her name quite a bit today, partly because there's 2 of them on the field, but partly because Allie's doing a real good job getting there in support. This is DeLuca, another one of the youngsters. And now Cardi comes out to Robinson, to Haddon, sidestep, gets a few, and they kick. And that's the half. So our clock was a little bit, well, actually right on. We're showing 2019, so that's going to be the half. I mean, Brian, there are so many things to talk about. Where do you start?
Raleigh came out and put the first points of the half up, and we thought we were going to have a back-and-forth shootout. Then once Doylestown got their hands on the ball, I don't think they've given up possession at all, and they're a machine. I'm getting a Rocky III reference or a Rocky IV with Drago out here. There's nothing that they haven't been able to do. They've gone big, they've gone fast, they've gone finesse, they've gone hammers. They're coming at you from all angles, and I have a feeling they're going to go to the bench in the second half, and they're going to bring in more players that are going to give fresh legs to the same system that's really on an upward trajectory. It's going to be really fun to watch them. Well, I don't know if it's going to be fun because they're playing us the next game.
It's fun here in the booth.
The opening match of the EGRL Central schedule is going to be against my team, and I'm just sort of scratching my head as to where we go to try to slow it down. I don't think you can stop it. You can try to force mistakes, put pressure on them, but they come at you with so many different styles. You know, you have teams that are fast, you have teams that are strong. They're fast, they're strong, and you know, with Nola, you know, being able to pull the strings with her passing and kicks, you know, she can flip the field directionally east-west and north-south so quickly. And then you have a ball, you know, she kicks a long ball, it takes a bounce right up and Alois makes an athletic play on the outside. It's you know, sources that you know, at this level, you may not always have 15 strong players on the field at the same time, and you're trying to maybe put Band-Aids on some spots that, you know, may not be as strong as others.
Yeah,
but
inexperienced.
I don't see any weak spots in this lineup, and then they backfill on the bench. It's really impressive, and a Raleigh side that was dominant at times yesterday, and they just haven't been able to get their hands on the ball to do anything with it. And you know, after the opening run where they scored a try, so if you're Raleigh, you just got to get possession somehow, some way, force a turnover, force a mistake, keep that pressure on, and just try to do your best. And you have to be immaculate with your tackling. You can't miss tackles. You can't give them second opportunities to hurt you, because with the number of weapons that Doylestown has, that they will hurt you.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, if I'm Coach Mike from the Cobras, it's like, well, where are we picking up, right? Where are our opportunities to exploit? And it is challenging to defend, you know, for whatever, let's call it, you know, 16 of those 20 minutes. First 4 minutes kind of went the way they would hope. Yeah. They got on the front foot and showed that they can score, right? When they have ball in hand and they get the ball going forward, there's a lot that can be done. The tricky part, of course, as you said, is they haven't had the ball. So it's like, well, about the only thing that we can do is we got to start from the beginning, which is we got to get that ball, got to get our hands on it.
And it puts a lot of pressure on you when you have that ball, not to have a knockout, not to have a forward pass, or a miscue with a kick or something like that. You're not getting opportunities with the ball, so you have to make the most of every single one that you have, and that puts a lot of pressure on players, and especially if you're down by a couple tries, you start pressing, and you know it really makes it hard. And you know, you'll see, it'll be interesting what happens in the first 5 minutes of the second half. If Doylestown can keep rolling, you know, this could get out of hand, and Raleigh's really going to have to work to, you know, get that next score.
Yeah.
Stay in the game and you know, try to put a little pressure, any pressure on Doylestown defensively to, you know, make some mistakes and give up some points. But
well, I do hope that you know, folks from maybe programs like Wando who ran into Doylestown yesterday, who were probably licking their wounds a little bit last night after a pretty one-sided game, I hope they're seeing this and understanding exactly how good that team is and can be, and maybe that gives some solace to their younger players. I was out there in the last match at the center, and I know that's a concern for the coaching staff there, is we have some, you know, really young, brand new players, and just as you said, I mean, it's not that they can't do it. It's just that it takes a couple of years to learn, and I think we're seeing that in both sides. You have these brand new players who are out this weekend, and we're happy to have them. We want more and more athletes trying this game. But then you can see in this case, you know, the game today that we're watching right now, where you've got players who have 4, 5, 6 seasons under their belt, and they really understand the game now. The IQ is there. They know how to exploit, you know, the space and the positioning, and it's fun to watch. It's pretty to see and fun to watch.
Yeah, you get that frustration, but yeah, you also have to take into account that, you know, Doylestown's the best of the best. There are other players in the league that are at that same level on different teams. You know, this is the biggest collection of them, but, you know, as we lead into the U.S. host in the World Cup, these are the girls that are going to be on the pitch for the USA, and that's really exciting to be a part of this league and know that, you know, that's who these girls are going to become.
Well, the clock restarts, and the ball comes back through the hands of 18, who has had a couple of nice runs, and now Raleigh gets to work. This is the number 3. Ball down, breaking on. Getting a little bit, now the ball's out. DeSoto brings it, a little bit mishandled. Arm is out, and that one, referee says, is a knock-on. So, yeah, that's exactly as you're saying, you know, those kind of like trying to get some traction, and that's a critical moment, and unfortunately just lost the handle.
They run a couple good phases, and then now you knock a ball on, you blink the eye, and now Doylestown's at the 22-meter line with an opportunity to attack, and everything's an option here. Yesterday flip the fields completely. And, Nola makes a 20-meter pass and, automatically creates an overload.
Yeah. Well, the work is now coming out the back, and so it's that 8 to 9 movement who finds Robinson. There's Myers on the tackle. Flynn brings it through McGonigal, a little show and go. Ruckus form comes out again, quick ball to the right. Haddon, the numbers are there for Cobras, so they'll probably redirect, and now back out through Terry. Once again, it looks like Myers involved in the tackle. And now the ball comes out to the far end of the screen. Another one of those youngsters, Viv Foley, who's on the field, who has had a really nice weekend. I know I mentioned it again here in the booth. That one travels forward, and so it will go to the Cobras. But yeah, youngster, 8th grader maybe a freshman, not quite sure, but does not play that way. And
great rugby pedigree. We've seen her develop in the past couple of years through the middle school program that Doylestown's put a lot of effort into to develop these kids, and that's why they're ready to play at the 8th, 9th grade level. They have a couple of years of experience and training with these older players. It just makes you better every time you show up for a practice session, knowing that you're going to be able to learn from and compete against the best.
Cobras looking. Now they bring it out into the back line. Little chip over the top. And it's fielded there. First one went backwards. Second one looks to have gone forward. Referee says must have been off the foot, which makes you in an offside position for the kick. So, good call there. Highly technical. Tricky one to get, but DeSoto picks it up and goes forward.
Strong run.
That's 18 again running the ball. And now out to the big prop, Emma Baldon. Continue to churn on. And Doylestown looks to have hands on. Davey is in there. And referee says does indeed have the ball. So,
yeah, it seems very one-sided. So with the amount of time with the possession, it's only a 10-point game here. If Raleigh can do what it did yesterday against the Morris, Morris was doing a great job containing them defensively, but they have some explosive runners that if they get ball in hand, they can make something happen and cut this down to a one-score game in a blink of an eye.
Well, you bring up a great point there. On the far edge, you have Tanner Avery, who is a phenomenally fast, runner, and we saw Tanner in Florida. Certainly game plan.
Misidentified her all weekend, but yeah,
it's true, right? I believe that I did hear the story, the mistaken first name, but yeah, Tanner has shown explosiveness all weekend here as well. But in fairness, just hasn't even been able to get hands on the ball, and so. By being so possession-oriented, Doylestown is keeping the ball out of the hands of one of the most dangerous players on the field. So, good work. And as they sometimes say, the best offense is a good defense. I guess it works in reverse as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, if you think retaining possession's normally just to hammer it out, and, Doylestown's looping and switching and moving the ball sideways and up and down. It's really fun to watch.
Lineout comes in nicely. Through Beckenhauer to now Flynn, back to Beckenhauer. And yeah, you're absolutely right. The pass catch has really been solid. There haven't been a lot of throwing the ball around. There's a lot of passing, and it's spinning in all directions, but it hasn't been thrown around. Myers looks to have had hands on. Referee says did not, so came from the side to get there. And so Flynn will pop it into the corner, and then we'll set that maul again.
You got to give a lot of credit to Nola Flynn, that all the weapons that are around her, but she really pulls the strings on it. She moves the ball so quickly off of the breakdown that it allows the opportunities for runners to come crashing and get the ball wide, or kicks over the top. There are just so many different options to make the players around her better. And I'd say that's probably her greatest talent. And when she goes to Dartmouth, they're going to be loaded. They got speed all over their back line. If she can just keep distributing the ball, you look for good things coming from the green sun, the green terror, or
penalty.
Her strong side that's going to get stronger with her addition.
So I'm guessing the penalty there was moved forward in the maul without contact. That is a tricky business. So again, the maul officially cannot move forward unless there's contact because there's not a maul unless both people. Beckenhauer says, I'll just do it myself, just snags the ball and gets the game going right back, dragging to width, very close to the line. Now the ball swings. McGonigal with a matchup that she can be happy with into the centers. Now once again, have the numbers on the outside. It's Campbell out to Aloise, who makes a nice step. Very close, could be held up there. And is indeed.
Great job by Wando to stay in the
Cobras.
play. Wando, I'm sorry. Cobras, to stay in that play. The ball's moving across the field. There's a great overload on the outside from Doylestown. But the Raleigh defenders worked their way across the pitch to cover it and hold it up, which is, the Raleigh teams, they're not going to quit. They're a strong side. They've had a lot of success in recent years, and they have top players too.
Yeah.
And they're not going to back down. And, a lot of these players are going to be playing against each other and with each other at the collegiate level, at the territorial level. There's rivalries that are built here between Raleigh and Doylestown.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. It was a great defensive fold by the Cobras. I mean, they Doylestown sort of had them dead to rights in the corner there. I mean, you have a player in Aloise who has real speed, but Avery was able to come up and disrupt things, and they were able to get under that ball. So good work there. Got a player down, and so we're just taking a minute here while the assessment is happening.
And Aloise she wasn't part of the territorial side down in Florida, but she was over with Atlantis. I believe, were they in Portugal or Spain?
I want to say Portugal, but yes, you're absolutely right.
Really successful tournament. So, these players have a lot of experience, not just at the local level, at the representative level, and really great resumes if you go down the Doylestown roster of their accomplishments so far. So many of them are committed to the top teams next year to play collegiately.
And so, unfortunately, a Cobras player is sort of gingerly being made off the field. Now the clock restarts with the dropout. It's Robinson who pulls one out of the air, and Avery there to make the tackle. Flynn looking, the shape is formed. McGonigal with a step. Drives on for a few. And now, there goes Terry, the dummy runner. Polo backward, and then still okay. Now out, looking for Haddon in the corner. And that offload was grabbed and nabbed, but then off the foot. And a solid counter ruck there. So
they lost it, but they didn't lose it for long.
Now it's out. Myers brings it through the hands. And here's 18, who's making some meters. So trying to find an outlet here and trying to find some safety. Looked like they were trying to get the ball out to the right, see if they can get it out of the speedster's hand. But too much there as Robinson right over it, poaches, and now Doylestown back on the attack. McCarty calling for it, looping. Now out to Aloise in the corner. Has this position, may have lost it there. And no, referee says we're okay. Ball comes out through McGonigal. Davey. Very close to the line, knocking on the door. Arm is out, it looks like. Robinson out to Haddon in the corner and dots it down. So that's going to bring it to 22. And you can just see how Haddon had just enough space to get out there and put that ball in the corner.
Yeah, great job by Robinson to move the ball across the field, a name that we don't mention a lot. She's a top-notch player, and really just keeping that rolling forward.
So we're seeing some substitutions now. Looks like one of the Beckenhauer sisters is going off there. Number 23, I believe that's Tara. And did not see who else, but looks like Mackenzie Harriet Clay is on the field. So there may have been a second. We'll try to get that number once we sort it out. But Flynn lines up for the kick. Strike is up, and looks like it pushed just across the front of that post. So Score remains at 22 on the side of the green and 7 for the Cobras in black. So, number 15, Doyle with the ball in hand will do the restart duties. And away we go. Goes 10, fielded by Accardi, pulled back in. Looked like it was going to be knocked, but able to just pull it back in on the fly. And now Flynn looks, finds some space. Doyle is back for the catch. Pressure on by Sapolo, but a good sidestep and now some clearance. This is Jane. Ball's available. Looks like we may have a new player playing scrum half. Unfortunately, I do not have that player wearing the 20 jersey for the Cobras. DeSoto out to the 18. Been a hard runner all day. Looking. Sport not quite there fast enough for the offload. They take it into the ruck, clean it, back out. Now it's Doyle who finds Avery for the first time, I think, today. And unfortunately, that ball looks to have been lost in contact. And
good line pressure from Doylestown there to force that error.
Time is going to be off for a moment here. Looks like, unfortunately, we've got a player who's down and getting assessed. But you're absolutely right. We had some good stuff there on defense to create that pressure. I think, they also know. They know that this is an attacking squad, and if you give them room to run, bad things happen. So get up in their face quick.
Really impressed. I believe it's 18. Do we have a name on 18 for?
No, we don't.
For Raleigh, she's had some really strong runs up the middle. The one that been a real standout when they have possession. They just have had limited opportunities with the ball in hand, and she's made some nice gains running the ball through traffic.
Yeah, I know. I talked to Coach Mike before the game, and he said their numbers were a little shaky today. They had lost some players to injury and or couldn't be there. So I don't know if that's a guest player. Right. But whoever it is, good pickup. Yeah. Great player. Really having a solid game and just continuing to straighten the line, get the game going forward. Would love to give that player a shout-out. Let me look. Maybe someone on YouTube has told us. We have not looked at the chat, but we can take a quick look while we're at this break, and boy, wouldn't that be great. Unfortunately, it does not look to be reported. Looks like we're getting nothing really. Unfortunate. But shout out 18. You're having a great day. Good work by you.
Yeah, it's fun to see Raleigh's sort of been the standard bearer out of the Carolinas, which is a hotbed for rugby right now. A lot of teams popping up, a lot of players that are playing. They have a long season, and the weather allows them to have 7 seasons and a 15th season. And a great job that for years it was Charlotte was the hot area, and Raleigh's the hot area. It's really cool to see a pocket that isn't a traditional rugby power is being able to spur out so much talent.
Yep. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Lots of commitment. I think where we can preview the next game. Chapel Hill, relatively new program,
yep.
and that's exactly that's what happens, right? I mean, there's an interest. There are committed people. People have played the game, love the game, and want to bring it to either their friends or children or whoever it is, and you see these little pockets of athletes.
A number of colleges in the area have taken on rugby. Queens, of course, at the Division I level. Guilford as an emerging program. These opportunities for the girls to play at the collegiate level have really, expanded events like this, and the commitment level from the clubs to go out of their comfort levels to play other teams. That's what's great about this event is most of the teams half the teams are from the north, half the teams are from the Carolinas, and we don't geographically get to play each other all that much. So, you can come down here and get some games against top-level competition that you don't normally see because we all live in our own little pockets of the world where we play the same teams over and over. And, the only way you're going to get better is to play against the best, and that's what an event like this is giving these teams an opportunity to do.
Well, you mentioned something there and really said it before about the fact that some of these players are going to be ones who were watching for a while and maybe even, with some luck and some opportunity on the field in the big matches when the World Cup comes this way. I think there's a recognition of that. I mean, all weekend long, shout out to Sue Whitwell, who's the U18 USA head coach, here for the U18 junior national team. has spent the entire weekend here, watching and looking and scouting players and having conversations and identifying talent, and that's great because that's one of the things that is a struggle. You don't get to see so much concentrated talent in one place very often, and certainly, we're real proud to be a part of that, to let the EGRL sort of play a role in that conversation, and it's the energy is matched. I mean, we had the Naval Academy down here doing some recruiting yesterday. We had Guilford, who's just around the corner, and Coach Christine has made such a big part of this event. We had Emerson and Henry down here walking around. I mean, Queens was in town. I mean, it just goes to show you that, like, you're right. Sometimes we just have to have these opportunities to play, and you have to have some good games and good competition, and then everybody can win, sort of, and all boats can rise.
Yeah, any coaches out there that have a team that has some players that want to get some exposure? We have another event coming up in June up in New Jersey, the original rugby showcase up in Clinton, New Jersey. Is it Clinton?
Yeah, it is.
Lebanon?
Clinton Township, Lebanon, they're all the same.
West Jersey.
Yeah, we have so many towns, you can, take a guess.
But that's a great platform because there's a lot of college coaches that are there, and it's open to any teams. The EGRL is associated with it closely, and we have our championship there. But it's open to clubs from anywhere. So if you're out there on YouTube watching us, and you want to have an opportunity, if you're a player or you have a team, there's opportunities for both individual players and teams to come out to the rugby showcase and show what you got.
You're absolutely right. The action is back on, and we've got a new player on the field there carrying the ball. We'll see if we can get a number there. Did not quite make it out. McGonigal to Beckenhauer. Allie Beckenhauer pulls it in. That's great hands. Sapolo looking. This is Harry. This is 20. Let me get the number there. That's Mia Wade. McGonigal. Good tackle, but keeps the game going forward. Cardi, DeLuca, driving on. Nola looks like there might be some space, then the offload. Love that little downhill run, and there's Cardi there to get it. Robinson over the top. Good counter-ruck attempt there by Myers, but they're able to hold. And now DeLuca going to drop the shoulder. Ball is available. Flynn brings it quickly through Paisley Davy. Again, tough runner in space. Real physical, real strong. Again with the quickness. Maybe caught a player on the wrong side of the ball. This is Wade. And McGonigal is close, but not quite in. Now the ball out through DeLuca. Foley. And Foley is in for the try. So, again, as we mentioned, we're not 100% sure she's even in high school, but that's a story that we've seen before. And some of the state-based organizations, including Pennsylvania, allow the middle schoolers who are developed and appropriate to play up, who have that skill set and physicality to play up. And the kids getting valuable experience, yes. On the flip side is also showing amazing ability. So Flynn lines up for the kick, and that brings the score line to 27-7. And it looks like some additional substitutions will be made. It looks like McGonigal's making her way off. Not sure if just getting a breather or something banged up, but had a great game. Flynn adds the extras, bringing it to 29.
That was a really nice run by Flynn. She was dealing. You saw her peeking at the base of the breakdown. Almost like she wants to have a go, which she's dangerous doing. We haven't seen her do it yet today. She tries to draw a penalty and, of course, distributing the ball, which she does at a top level. It's really, really exciting to watch.
So Raleigh back with ball in hand. This is Doyle, who will get things rolling again. Looks like Allie Beckenhauer is making her way off. And
really strong match by Allie.
Yeah, Beckenhauer heading to the U.S. Military Academy at West Point in the fall. And
they have rugby there?
Yeah, they're going to pick up a good one there. I mean, Allie is a hard worker. And, one of the things that we never talk about enough, you can never talk about it enough, as Davey takes the ball and finds some space. Maybe good tackle by Doyle in the open field. Now it's back to work over the top. Doyle's in the play, and so Nola puts the ball down the field. It's automatic, and here comes Sapolo. Doyle able to get back and recover. Good job by the fullback. And Flynn makes a tackle. Referee says that is a cardable offense. Not quite sure what, but Flynn will make her way off the field.
Looks like it may have been considered a dump tackle. And
tip tackle?
Yeah.
Okay. So that was maybe player was off the feet and did not bring down with enough care. So as I was saying, you can never talk about it enough, but Allie Beckenhauer is one of those glue players who just does the little things that keep the game going and keep the match rolling forward. And, you know, it's easy to talk about the glitzy, glamorous type moments. You know, somebody breaks off a great run or has an amazing, you know, tackle or something that really stands out. We don't talk nearly enough about the players who keep continuity, keep the match rolling, hustle to be there and support. I mean, arguably the most important stuff.
Those are the ones that make the difference between having a great team and being a collection of great players.
That's right.
And Doylestown is blessed to have them. And here's Robinson off on another run, another name that we've mentioned a couple times, but she's a solid player. Her sister is also a solid player we haven't mentioned yet, playing hooker, has been out there. Just great work rate. And on another team, they would be standouts. And on this team, you know, they hardly get a mention.
So Doylestown down a player now for the next 5 minutes, and Cobra's looking to attack, exploit that. Calling for the ball are the wide players, but it looks like they're going to take it up the middle into that 8 channel and losing the ball in the process. But referee says you were offside, never got back on before you took the ball, and so it's going to pause there. DeSoto brings it out through the 18. Avery close. Arm is out. I thought I saw very close to the door. Referee says into touch. However, there was a penalty, so they're going to be playing that penalty from the 5-meter mark. DeSoto on the quick tap. Now brings it through Doyle. Ball's available. Now it's out. Again, the 18, strong player, but pushed back in the double tackle. Ball still available. Again, great launch there. So quick on the ball. The counter ruck. Referee says, hold up now. Looks like to be going to the pocket again. That's another, and that means now Doylestown will be down 2 players for at least 3 minutes. And that looked to be number 23, Beckenhauer, going off. That was Tara Beckenhauer. There are at least, I think there are 4 Beckenhauers on the squad, so sorry if we're confusing them. This is Doyle. So now Cobras really have to attack down 2. They should have the space. Ball getting tossed around a little bit. DeSoto looking for the corner. Avery swings from the far side and now gets involved. Very close to the line, not quite in. Here comes that drive. Good defensive pressure. That was Noel Robinson on tackle. Once again, good hard drive. 18, shoulders are forward, reaching, and there is the try. So Cobras take advantage of the carding situation and get some points on the board. Going to bring it up to 12 for them. So we've got a score line now of 29-12, and we're going to take a moment while the trainer comes out to attend to a player. And it looks like Doyle, Adria Doyle, will do the kicking honors.
Yeah, that was hard work by Raleigh. They've been limited opportunities with ball in hand, and to have them score at the end here is going to let them go out on a high note. Not sure if maybe one more play left.
Yeah, time should be getting close, so I don't think we'll see either of those 2 cards check back in.
Maybe that's the strategy on taking down Doylestown. You just got to hope they get a couple yellow cards. And
did not see a kick there. Was that a penalty try?
No, it was a miss kick. She missed
Oh,
it.
I just
She
missed it.
missed
Look down.
Distracted by the hurt player.
So 20. Wait a minute. That's not right. Should have been 12.
12, yeah.
Okay. 12. 29-12. And we've got to be getting close on time, so we'll see. I see the referee look at his watch.
You just want to finish clean here. You don't want any injuries at the
Now
very
the ball
end.
is up. It's over the head. Takes a Doylestown bounce, but unfortunately almost too aggressively. Davey was not ready for it, and there is the final whistle. So this one ends 29-12. As we said, possibly the feature match of the weekend. Certainly two teams that were ready for this. Great game. I thought Doylestown really just looks so crisp in their attack that they're hard to handle.
Yeah, 2 tries from Raleigh to start and finish the match, but in between it was all Doylestown. Great job with their possession. Their weapons are everywhere. They got a big spring coming up. Headed over to Portugal to compete in an international tournament over Easter break. It's going to be a great test for them to see, how they measure up against some international sides, and then they'll come back and they'll swing into, Rugby Pennsylvania schedule and the EGRL schedule. They got to be the heavy favorites for both to be the top team on the East Coast this spring.
Yeah, I think that's probably a pretty good assessment. Is that we thought it's possible that this was 1 and 2. I still think, based on what we've seen this weekend, this is still 1 and 2. But yeah, I mean, today Doylestown just had the weapons they needed to really, just put the gas down and go. So
Raleigh's got nothing to hang their heads on. They're not going to be the only team that's going to lose to Doylestown this spring. So it'd be interesting to see if they can, come back with all their pieces, and hopefully they come back at the showcase in New Jersey, and they may have a rematch from last year's main event.
Well, you heard it here first. That would be great. I'd love to see that happen.
Any other teams you want to call out?
That's it. I'd love to see that happen.
West Coast, come east.
All right, so we're going to put the mics down for a moment as this next game gets organized. It will be the Chesapeakes from Maryland against Chapel Hill, and we'll bring it right back with you. Thanks for joining here on Main Street Sports, the EGRL.
Chesapeakes.
I'm happy filming. I like tracking everything. I got 7 minutes, right? I can run and get an energy drink. Yeah, you got it. getting there.
My go-go squeeze. I feel like, Dad, I feel like you're gonna tell me my hair looks good because it reminds me when you used to set my hair first. Thank you.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We are at the final match of the weekend. On the left side of the screen, the squad from Chapel Hill in the hoops, and on the right side of the screen in green, in the West Carroll green today, the Maryland Chesapeakes, as we're calling them, which is a combined side from the three primary programs in Maryland. At the center again, last match of the day today is Joey Rasmus, so thank you to Joey for doing the work. We've got the score line up. Let's go ahead and make sure we've got the clock set. And it looks like we're just about to get ready to roll. Going to do our best to bring you the numbers as we go here. Don't know all of the players, but we'll get started. The whistle blows, it goes 10, and it is handled. So, right to work are the Chesapeakes. And now the ball comes out. This is Jones. Breaks through and gains a few. Continues on feet, gets across midline. And Milesh there looking to seal. Now Rasnick uses the speed of her sister, puts it over the top. Paige Rasnick to Peyton Rasnick, who gets a little chip on. Able to pick up the ball and make it for the first try of the day is Peyton Rasnick. So real good work there, Rasnick to Rasnick, who kicks over the top and just shows pace on the outside. bringing the score line up to 5 in the opening moments. So it's the Chesapeakes on the board first in the opening minutes. And it looks like it will be Peyton Rasnick who will do the kicking duties. Sad news for all of you at home. No Coach Melody with me in the booth this time, so it's just one single voice. And I'll do my best to play both roles, but big thanks for an entire weekend's worth of work by Coach Brian Melody. The lefty kicks and puts it over the top for 7, bringing the scoreline up to 7-0. Coach Melody, of course, on the sideline with the Chesapeakes, representing the West Carroll squad, along with Taylor Schusler there, also a coach, and Jeff Adamczyk, who is representing the North Bay squad. Pat Marin, also on the sideline, representing the Virginia Outcasts. Now the ball is up, and it comes across. It's picked up. That's Anna Voda in 17 jersey. Again, it's Lesh on the seal with Govier behind. Now Marin brings it out through Jones. Good fend. Bump off works. Finds some space and looking to put on some pace is J.L. Jones, who adds 5 more to the scoreline. Solid run there by Jones, who's able to just break through the center and exploit the middle of the field. Once again, it will be Peyton Rasnick doing the kicking duties. Wind's starting to pick up here, so that could be an issue if you're a kicker. It's really a cross-field wind. And Rasnick sends it. So Rasnick puts it through, adds 2 more to the score line, and off to a solid day there, right off the bat, with 9 of the 14. So the ball makes its way back to the center, and they'll get restarted. As we mentioned yesterday, for the new viewer, if you're new to rugby, Rugby 15s, which has 15 players on the field each side, you get to kick it back after being scored upon, which is always a tricky spot. This is Maya Lesh, the West Carroll player, driving on, gaining a few. And now Marin through Paige Rasnick, looking, then able to get the ball out. That's number 3, Golding. Seal is on. And Chapel Hill looked to play in, but referee said, now you put your hands in the ruck. The ruck was already formed. And so it's going to be Robles with the ball in hand, driving. Gains a couple. Now it's out. Rasnick to Rasnick again. Peyton breaks through the first. Tough open field situation. Looks like she's going to put in another 5 points for the Chesapeakes. So the Chesapeakes come in hot, looking to attack. I know yesterday they were on the wrong side of one of the score lines, and I feel like they regrouped and wanted to leave this weekend with some upswing. So they've come out and really tried to make some things happen. So Peyton Rasnick will line up for the kick. Again, right on the post, so certainly a kick that's makeable for this kicker. Does so and adds 2 more. So scoreline at 21 with about 8 gone. And I would say the takeaway, the line so far has been that the Chesapeake's Maryland United team here, when they get on the front foot, they have some dangerous players. They have some players who can make things happen. And we know there's 4 or 5 that probably just haven't even gotten a touch on the ball yet who can do the same thing. So their strategy of creating that forward pressure and then getting the ball in the hands of somebody with some pace seems to be working. This is the combination of Govier with Lesh on her hip. That tackle's made. Looks like we've got new player in there. And now Robles comes in. Jones. Ball's available. Marin brings it through Lesh, who looks, finds Govier. Now it's picked. The referee says you were on the wrong side of that, so you were in an offside position. And so number 7 is going to have to head back and give 10. Tap is out, swings wide. This is through Paige Rasnick. Swings it out again through Peyton Rasnick. This is Axel Katubi who brings it out to Jackson on the width. Looking, continuing to stay on feet. Now the offload. Going to have to get a number on that one. That could be Emma Parker in the 24 jersey. Now Marin brings it through Robles. Driving. In a dangerous attacking position. That's Marion New driving on. Had a great day yesterday, just pounding the ball forward. Certainly the kind of player who you want in this close situation. That's Jones. Now Marin sees the A gap, decides to take it herself, and goes and puts it down. So A gap was available. Maddie Marin, smart heads-up play by the 9, just picks and drives it through and gains the 5 points. 26 is the score line, and Peyton Rasnick will line up for another kick. So a fast start for the Maryland Chesapeakes. As the team from Chapel Hill, with some guests, because as all often happens with new programs, numbers a little light on day 2. People get injured and have other things they have to do, and so seeing some faces from other squads out there, which is certainly worth a hat tip to those squads. As Rasnick lines up for the kick. And it's up and good. So as I started to say there, a hat tip to some of these other squads who help fill in lineups. It's something that's it's a big part of our game. It's a bit of a soapbox for myself. Also, I'll try not to stand on it too long. But we know teams are trying to build. They're trying to create a scenario where they can play and they can train and we can grow the sport. Certainly, that's part of the mission that we all feel is important. Trick, of course, is that have to have the right number of athletes to do that, and 15s requires exactly that, 15 on each side. So in situations like this, day 2 after a tournament, as the kick goes back in, oftentimes teams are lending players who want to get a little extra time, extra minutes, and also can fill in rosters. Kick was fielded by Govier, who then brings through Marin to J.L. Jones, gets a few. Calling some similar names, this is Lesh. Has Voda on the outside looking, couldn't quite make it there. Now the ball's available, and Marin brings it again. This is a new, just churning on, such active legs in contact. Marin brings it again. Voda finds Lesh out into the width. That one, unfortunately, gets into touch. That's Lauren Ashley, who is driven into touch, wearing the 11, and so it's going to be a line out to the squad in hoops, Chapel Hill. Now, number 6 has the ball in hand, and not sure if that's all the numbers are correct today on day 2, but we've got Adeline Delafield on our roster, so hopefully that is, and we're getting the name right. Jumpers up early, and referee says you went up too early. That's a free kick. Can't start your lift until the ball is in the air. So that is a free kick that's going to go the way of Chapel Hill. Ball's tapped. That means the free kick is on, and then kicked across, little cross-field kick, but it looks like Green is there. Jackson made a play, flicked it in. That's Anu with the ball. And Raznick fills in for the 9 duties, brings it out through her sister. Big, strong run, but that tackle looked a bit high. And so the over-the-shoulder tackle, referee says, yeah, got to get that down. That's going to be a penalty. Marin in position. Some decisions being made. Now the ball comes out. Govier. Ruck's on. Now the ball comes out again. That one barely handled. Well done there to keep it in hand. Marin looking again at that A-gap, not seeing the defense there, and so decides to give it a shot. Gains a few, and it's Jones who's breaking through and getting another. So J.L. Jones, with a smart heads-up play, notices that there's no one standing there and just picks it up and goes. So once again, the tee comes on, and Raznick will line up for kicking duties as the wind continues to be breezy, I would say. A little cooler here today than yesterday, and it almost looks like it wants to rain. So we are hoping that we will get through this game and before anything breaks open. Good time to shout out our intrepid cameraman, Trevor Caterson, who's been up there on the truck today. And before him yesterday, Freddie Weinstein from Morris spent quite a bit of time on the camera, so shout out to Freddie and all the crew who's been helping us out bring this to you. Raznick strikes and adds 2 more. So that brings the scoreline to 35 with 15 minutes gone, so a little less than 5 to play by our clock. Official time being kept on the field, of course, by the sir at the center, Mr. Rasmus. So Chapel Hill goes back to work, sends it, and it's over the head of Jones. But Paige Raznick there to clean it up and gain a few. Now flicking it out into the width. Don't have a number for this player, but this player is just jamming forward, gaining ground. Now tackled. That was 24, which by my roster says Emma Parker. So that one is a penalty that goes the way of Chapel Hill for not releasing, and now they will get forward. Tap is on, now it's out. This is a strong runner. This is I believe the number 8 from Wando, who played earlier, and I had the pleasure of refereeing. Very strong runner, solid player. So if I can get a name for her, but shout out, definitely worthy of the effort. Referee takes a glance at the watch, so that says also getting short on time. Chapel Hill going to try to make something happen here and get some momentum before the half. Finding a seam. And referee says you were off your feet there. So that penalty, unfortunately for Chapel Hill, goes the way of the forest green jersey. And so the Chesapeakes will take the ball back, and it looks like Govier will attempt to find touch. Does so easily, and so the line out will form. Clock continues to tick, 17:24 gone. And we're getting near the final moments of this first half. So the line out will be thrown in, and looks like from here, it looks like Maddie Marin with the ball in hand. And the Chesapeakes are going to try to get some extra speed on the width here. We've got both players, Jackson but they've lost the line out. So that unfortunately goes the way, for Maryland, goes the way of, of Chapel Hill, and they're back to work. Pounding forward is that player from Wando, still on feet, just churning and taking players with her. Now the ball comes out, taking the ball with some pace, but the tackle is made. Now it's out again. Ruck is formed. Now it's going to be coming out, and it's swung through the hands. Got to get somebody getting this game going straight, and this is the player to do it. Drives on and gains a few. Well played. Now looks to be Tanner Avery, going to show some speed. Good on that player for coming back after the last game and getting a few minutes. Don't typically see Tanner wearing the 8 jersey, but worked out well that time. Offsides is the call, and so they will head back 10. So the Chesapeakes are back 10, and now the tap is on, and the ball swings. Good, strong run. Starting to get near some threatening position here. Getting right at the 22 is the squad from Chapel Hill. Ball swung out. Going to have to clean that up. Raznick was on it, but then the tackle was made. Now out to the left side. Swung through the hands, lost but backward. Still okay. It's picked up that time by Lesh, who does a smart thing and sees the ball and just puts hands on it. Unfortunate for Chesapeakes. There's the kick over the top. It's Jackson running onto it. Not the bounce they were hoping for, but still able to clean it up and get it to their side. Well played, and able to do so and get the ball to Lauren Ashley, who's going to make a tear around the side and make this happen. And so great work there by Ashley. So big credit on the kick chase. They clearly lined that up, brought Jackson from the far wing over to this near side, made it count, put the ball into space, and then Ashley was there to pounce on that available ball. That's going to bring 5 more onto the scoring line, and Raznick will take another shot at the sticks. That could be the last play of the half. Hard to tell. Players are still on the field, but our clock says it's pretty close, if not. Raznick strikes and makes it count. Add 2 more. Peyton has had the benefit of some tries under the sticks today and is right on with those strikes. So well done. Never an easy skill. And referee announces that there's 1 minute left, so we'll have enough time for one more play in this first half. Scoreline at 42. And the kick is up. Bounces, and now it's cleaned up. Hard drive there in the contact area. Referee says, yep, had the ball. So now we'll see what we can put together. Good attacking position here, even though only a minute, less than a minute. And now the game goes forward. Tricky defense there. Saw Paige Raznick step into the space. It was a good read by the Chesapeake player, or by the Chapel Hill player, to see that and hold on to it, just go to the ground. Now the ball's available. Arm is out, so we're playing a penalty advantage. Out through the hands. This is Avery. Looks, couldn't quite make the pass, but it's going to come back for the penalty. Referee says, not rolling, you were in the space. Short time. Now the tap is on. Going to have to get low here. Not quite, and so player continues to churn. Very strong runner. And now the bodies are in. Finds the deck, so Release, and now the ball will come out again. Runner shakes one but loses the ball. This is Anna Voda who's doing the stripping on a big long run. Avery there up to the challenge, speed on speed, and does a great job of putting hands on the ball. So just an absolutely stellar play there by Tanner Avery to run down, make the tackle, get back up, get through the channel, put hands on ball, and get the penalty. Can't end the half on a penalty, so we'll continue. Some decisions being made. Looks like maybe we need a substitution, but now the ball is back in play. Good charge there by the Chesapeakes to come up and try to get there in the space. Nice little step through here by the 24. And lost feet, unfortunately. Says, yeah, you were over the top there. And so the penalty, the poach, was no good. Now the ball out. It's kicked, and now off the hands of Lesh. That's a knock on. That may be the end of the half. And it is. And so at the end of the first half, it's the Maryland Chesapeakes 42 and Chapel Hill 0. We're going to pause here. I'm going to put the mic down. Thanks again for watching and staying with us. This is the last game of our Rugby Showcase South here in Gibsonville, North Carolina. But we're going to put the mics down and we'll pick it back up for the final half of the weekend. Once again, on behalf of everybody at Main Street Sports, thanks for being here.
Gummy snacks on the way back here. There's still players, you know, and like there's obscure rules. And like, oh, that, and I'm like, yeah.
And we're back. Getting ready to start the second half of this final matchup of Rugby Showcase South. Currently got a scoreline of 42-0, and it is the Maryland Chesapeakes in the lead. We're going to get that time clock ready to go. We are starting the 21st minute. And it will be the Chesapeakes kicking off. So they're in the dark green on the left side of the screen, and the Chapel Hill, North Carolina squad in the dark and light hoops.
Come down together.
Looks like Lyda Govier has the ball in hand. And we're off. It's a booming kick into the 22, but it's fielded nicely. Big, strong tackle by Voda. And Carolina has the ball. Another strong tackle. The arm is out. And let's see what that is. Possibly an offsides call. And looks to me like we're going to go to the pocket here. A card for Jones. Speaking, the captain. Okay, so Jones is acting as the captain. It looks like it's Paige Rasnick who's going to be going off for 5. And possibly warned on the offsides and then stayed in an offsides position. That's my guess. Up anew with the hit. So for 5 minutes, somewhere around the 26th minute, we'll see them re-enter the game. This time it's a high tackle, stays the way of Maryland. And tap. Out to the far side of the screen, a few meters gained. Now the ball's out. Out to the right. Breaking through, and the offload, and might have just slowed her down enough. No. This is Avery who's breaking through and going to put some points on the board for the team from Carolina. We've seen it so many times. That pace just comes in handy. Just breaks away and just rolls down the field. So good, smart play with a player down to find that space. This has to be available. You're a player down, so there's some space out there. And that time, Chapel Hill found it, got on the board with 5. So, 10, I have Sophie Fennell as the roster, but I'm not sure if that's who that is. And that's going to add 2 to the score line, bring it up to 7. Starting to hear the pitter-patter of rain, so we're going to hope for the best. I may have to put the mic down here and help out, see if we can get some coverage for the camera. The intrepid Trevor Caterson is up there holding down the fort, so appreciate that. Going to try to bring you the rest of the second half. Hopefully the skies don't open up and it's no more than a drizzle. But at 42-7, we've got Govier with ball in hand. And we will get rolling. I am going to put the microphone down just for a moment, folks, so we can get the rain situation squared away. All right, we got the umbrella where it needed to go, and we are back with a line out, and ball is available. Voda doing the cleanup work. Now Anu with ball in hand, driving, continuing, now finds ground. Good hard run there. Now the ball through Marin comes out to the right. Ball's lost, and now it's Chapel Hill with ball in hand. And so they look to kick. Big chase coming down. Going to be a tight foot race here. Cleaned up nicely by Ashley, and unfortunately Avery looks to have pulled up with a cramp or something. Hopefully she's okay. And it's Ashley who's finding Jones, who's going to the corner and is going to make it happen. So a really good transition play there by the Maryland squad. See if we caught it. Just can see Jones break through and score the points. So with 47 on the board, it's once again Peyton Rasnick. And I would think we got about another minute on the card. So a player down. Good job by the Maryland squad. A player down to find a seam and make it happen. Starts with number 11, Lauren Ashley, who is able to field that kick and find some space to run. So great job there. Rasnick gets right back to it, right where she left off in the last half, and bringing the scoreline to 49. And it does look like the yellow card is now expired, so Paige Rasnick has served her time in the sin bin and rejoins the game. .26 and change gone. Now the kick is up. Over the head of Anu. Fielded but bobbled, and referee says that's a knock on. So the knock on goes the way of Chapel Hill, who will scrum down here and look to get things moving. And the scrum is now set. And ball is placed. It's out. And good pressure there by Jones. Got the arm out. Going to be a knock-on advantage. And so it's going to go the way of the Chesapeakes. So the 8 pick was unfortunately dealt with and created that knock-on. And so they're going to re-scrum, but this time the put-in will be by Maryland. Clock continues to tick. We're getting near the 30-minute mark. scrum forms.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Ball is in. Looks like it's won by the North Carolina side, and it's Govier there to meet the contest. First tackle is made. Advantage arm is out. Let's see what we've got for the call. Not rolling. So Raznick caught on the wrong side and couldn't escape, and the not rolling call is made. Kick is not going to find touch, and now it is Ashley who takes it in her own try zone. Going to have to make a decision, decides instead to touch it down, which means that we will come out for the dropout. So a dropout restart. And for those at home who may not know, a dropout is officially a restart of the game, but at the 22-meter, it doesn't have to travel, just has to cross the line. It doesn't have to travel a minimum distance. Whereas the goal line dropout, which happens when the attacking team does not convert the try, they get into the try zone, but they do not convert, not through a kick. It has to travel 5 meters. A rugby fun fact for those who don't follow the game quite as closely as those of us on the geekier side do. The ball is kicked by Govier, who sends it almost to midline. Really good kick. Jones there for the tackle. Now the ball out. And Jones a bit slow to get up, so not in danger, so the referee says play on. Good strong hitting. Referee says offside again, so Raznick, who served time, we think, for offside, gets hit again on that one. Now the ball comes out. Big tackle attempt, but good footwork there. Jackson had the ball but lost it. Now the ball comes out. Chapel Hill continues to churn forward. If they can move that ball a little quicker, they feel like they have some space. Referee says there's a penalty there, not rolling. And referee going to have a conversation with the captain, saying, look, we've now had multiple infringements. We're getting now into scoring position. We just can't have this many stoppages in the game because of penalties. So square it up, clean it up, or next time we're going to have to go to the pocket. And as is the custom in rugby oftentimes, gives the captain a chance to just talk to the squad and say, all right, guys, listen, let's get this thing squared away. So that is exactly what J.L. Jones is doing, having a conversation with the team, and they'll get back to work. Penalty goes the way of Chapel Hill, so they are inside, or just outside the 22, and now they're going to go ahead and push in. Strong run. That tackle was one leg off the ground, so no worries there on the dump. They're looking. And now good hard pressure there. So from an analysis perspective, one thing that Chapel Hill can take from this game is that they've got to get that ball out quickly at the 9 because they're giving Maryland a little too long to set up, which is creating some defensive pressure. Doing a great job with ball in hand, just churning on and trying to gain meters, so they've got all the right stuff, just a little too much time for the green jersey. Big hit there by Anu. Looking, now the ball out. Got a player down, so being dealt with and a little too close to the player down. Referee says we're going to stop action there for a second and let this player get the attention she needs. So that will stop the clock at 32 minutes gone by our count. Not sure what the official time is because that's kept on the field. But if our time is right, that means there's 8 minutes left, 8 to play with a score line of 49-7 in favor of the Maryland United team, the Maryland Chesapeakes as we're calling them. So probably a good time to say thanks to the folks here in Gibsonville at Northeast Park. It's been really a great venue for what we were looking for. Unfortunately, we're not able to bring the event to Guilford College this year, and Coach Christine, I think, has a sevens tournament over there today, so hopefully that's all going well. But looking for another field in the area, in the kind of greater Greensboro area, and Northeast Park came online, and we were able to use the facility. It's been great, so thanks to the folks here and all the folks who have helped us make it happen on this 2-day event. Referee says we're going to get things going again as the player makes her way off, and we'll get some attention. And it's going to be a scrum to Chapel Hill. Coaches make their way off the field. Players get back toward the mark. And with any luck, we'll get back going, and this will be the final 8 minutes with no more aches, pains, bruises, or bumps. It's a physical game. It's the only full contact women's sport in the United States that I know of, and these athletes are just out there putting their bodies on the line. So it's great work on both sides, and of course, we never like to see anybody not feeling well, but always good to see them back on their feet, walking off. Time is back on, and the scrum goes the way of Chapel Hill. Going to reset some things, just make sure that the gap is appropriate and safe. And now the call starts again. That one collapses, so we're going to have to do it again. We'll see if referee deems it a circumstance or something more nefarious. Looks like no penalty there, so just going to reset it and do it again. So referee resets the mark, and we get back to it. And now the ball is placed. It comes out, 8-man picks, finds a little space, sheds the first tackler, and picks again. Well done. Released the ball, so a heads-up play there. Released and went again. Now the ball out. Gains a couple, met by a strong double tackle there. And referee says from the side. So can't have to come through the channel. There's so many little nuances in the game. If you're a new viewer or someone who doesn't know the game super well, have to come through the channel, meaning you have to come from behind the play and in the width of the tackled player. It's probably the easiest way to say it. Some substitutions, and now Chapel Hill gets back to work. There's the first tackle. There it is. Now the ball's available. Now this is where the decisions have to be made. And pick and go is the decision made. Gates a few. Now in threatening position inside the 22. Driving on. Get that body low, and we can continue to move it. So shoulders get down, and the pile goes forward. Little counter-ruck attempt, not much. Now the ball out. First contact made. Could have been by Voda. Now the next tackle. Looks like possibly the Rasnick sisters on that one. Peyton Rasnick challenges the ruck, but the ball is out. The counter ruck challenge was good. Now they swing, looking for space, shooting defender, but now the tackle is made. So second body in the wrong space, did not roll. Now the penalty and cut to the outside. Big contact there. Hopefully that player's okay. Looked like maybe a head bump. Now the ball comes out. Rasnick shows in the space, so good read there by this player. Driving on. Getting near the line within a few meters. Smashing play, and the arm is up, which puts 5 more on the board for Chapel Hill. So real good job there. We'll go back to the replay and see if we can see that little pick and go. Gains a few, does a good job of bringing the tacklers in, and then here is the pick and go and just finds some space, dots it down. So, scoreline at now 49-12, 35, almost 36 gone. And we'll have the kicker lining up. Wind continues to blow, so that could be a factor. Strike is up, and the flags are up. So good job there by the kicker. Add 2 more, bring it to 14. So good, strong effort there, capitalizing on the penalties. So penalty after penalty, and able to capitalize by driving and gaining a few meters, and then just finding that little pick lane, A channel as we sometimes call it. Couple minutes left before this one closes out, and it will be Lyda Govier with ball in hand who will do the kicking duties. I'm hearing 5 minutes from the field, which makes me think that referee has told them. Now the kick is up, makes its way, fielded on the ground. Big hard tackle, and referee says that's a penalty because you were high. And this player going to need a minute, looks like. And now we're okay. Referee. Here's the tap. Maya Lesh there. Nice little offload out the back. Raznik picks it up, looking for space. Then the offload. Good clean out there by Lesh. Brings it out. Have the numbers on the outside. Calling for it. Peyton over the top with the basketball pass. Jackson with the ball in hand. Looking for a seam. Finding a few meters. Ball at the feet of Paige Raznik, but a good hard counter ruck. And the penalty is on. So it says the hands were in the ruck there, and so penalty is on. Here's the tap. Now they swing it out. Ball comes out to the pod. Pod runner takes a hard drive forward. Again, now the quick recycle. That's what they need to do because they have the numbers out here. Numbers were available for a second, but not before Maya Lesh gets hands on the ball. And that was a really, really good play there by Maya, the West Carroll player, because the numbers were stacked on the right here for the team in the hoops. Substitution being made. Govier brings it out. This is Anu, who has just run with such ferocity all weekend. Really showing some good potential. Hammers forward. Now the ball out. Driving into the middle. Oh, a little sloppy there, but the penalty first, so not rolling is the call. And Govier goes again. Looking for Lesh. Unfortunate, the pass a little offline. Cleaned up. Very close to the line. Not quite in. Raznik. Got to get low. Drives. Referee says goal line dropout. So that one is held up. Did not dot it down. So in the try zone, but not quite able to dot it down, is Elizabeth Shoup. Good run there by the 21. Now the dropout. Goes the required 5. It's Lesh who takes it out of the air, brings it back in, a nice fend. The double tackle is on, but she's able to win the contact and drive it forward. Paige Raznik with the 9 duties. A little bit of everything for Paige today. Done it all. Little 9, little 10, little center. Now Govier. Driving. Knocking on the doors, the green jersey. Katubi. That's close. Not quite in. Jackson runs in. Very hard to tell how close we are to the line. Still a meter out. Arm is out. Penalty advantage being played. Referee says that was high. And so we're going to come back for that high tackle. And now the Chesapeakes will have the ball. Once again, it's Lyda Govier with ball in hand. And they're setting up the tap as the time dwindles. This is getting very close to the time. Can't be more than a minute left. Now it's out. Forward and in for the try is number 2, who on our roster we've got as Ava Robles. So good job there, and that may be it for the day. Let's see, looks like the Chapel Hill team is walking toward the side. Not quite sure yet, but that will get Maryland over the 50 mark, and Rasnick will look to finish this off with the extras. Both teams now sort of making their way, so we're thinking that might be it. This may be the last play of the game. So the story on this one, as Rasnick lines up for the extras, is Maryland bounced back after a jittery start yesterday to their season, and of course a new team, effectively a team having to play with each other the first time. That it's always hard to gel, and they come back and they get it, and that is it. Peyton Rasnick adds the final 2 for a very good day. Well done by Peyton and by the whole squad. And so we're going to leave it there, folks. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of it this weekend with us. My name is Mike Eisenhart, and on behalf of everyone at the Elite Girls Rugby League, the EGRL, the Rugby Showcase staff, Rugby Showcase South, and all of those who made this weekend possible, it's our great pleasure to bring this to you, and also your thanks for being here with us. As always, a hat tip and a thank you to everyone who made this happen, all the coaches, all the players, all the fans, the family, and most importantly on the live stream, the folks who volunteer and give their time to us to bring this to you. So whoever gets the chance, make sure you say thanks. Big thanks to Brian Melody, Jeff Adamczyk, Shane Flynn, Oliver from Downingtown, Trevor on the camera, Freddie on the camera. The list goes on. I'm trying to just remind myself and think of everybody. At the center, Trevor at the center, refereeing this weekend. Joey also at the center refereeing this weekend. We had, who else? Boy, we had David Corden, who jumped on the camera several times. And we would be remiss if we did not shout out Dave's daughter, superstar player, DJ Corden from Morris, who hopes to have a career in this stuff and got some reps with us this weekend. So we're going to leave it there. Thanks so much from Gibsonville. We are Main Street Sports, and this has been the EGRL. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great rest of the weekend, and safe travels back home.